right. Today promise to be a
in at tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming for your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it like you running so well.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Hayaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town, they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying by in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't got distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Ah. Tommy? So the thing Papi was telling me that serious thing? I'm going to look for Looking Hour, yeah. Papi, thank you. Thank you for telling me about Looking Hour.
My daughter, now Ada, don't say I'll tell you. Bye.
In at tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming from you breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter, Hayaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Hayaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town, they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying by in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't got distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Ah. I'm going to look for looking hour, yeah. Papi, thank you. Thank you for telling me about looking hour.
My daughter? Ha, now Ada, don't say I'll tell you. Bye.
In a tunesabread.com.
Papi, why you coming for you breathing like that?
My daughter, my daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. Ah, the old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. Why you no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it like you running so well.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that ball can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the ball will talk it. You doing the right thing, the ball will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want you all time, yo.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying by in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Today is another great edition of the Logan's Hour. Today we are here again. You know, we are here every Tuesday and every Thursday. And trust me, today's conversation promises to be a very great one indeed. We have in four distinguished gentlemen who will today in the conversation today. And I can rest assured you, don't miss today's program because you're going to really enjoy it. I see people following us on the YouTube already. I see people following us on the Facebook page, Logan's Hour. And I see people following us on my private page as well. So I want to say to all of you following us, whichever page you're following us on, we want to say thank you for joining the show. And let's have the show today and let enjoy ourselves today. So today's conversation, we will be in conversation with the conversation today. I think you have been seeing the flyer is about who is likely to become the president of Liberia in 2023 October, who is likely to get elected. We have the current president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency George Manawia. We have Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaka representing the Unity Party. We have Mr. Tiawan Gongolo representing the Liberian People Party. And we have Mr. Elizana Cummings, who representing the ANC. And today conversation we will have individuals who will be defending each of these people here. We will be listening to policy that they have to offer to the Liberian people. What are the good things they have to offer to the Liberian people? And tonight's conversation is going to be so unique because we want to have guys here who can abide by the rules of the debate tonight. So basically, everybody going to be marketing their candidate. You know, we are about to go to election. This is the prelude in our community here. So from the CDC side, we have Mr. J. Joshua K. Power. Mr. J. Joshua K. Power will be here to speak for the CDC tonight. And for the Unity Party, we have our dear friend and brother. We have Mr. Jeremiah K. Chie. Mr. Jeremiah K. Chie will be here representing the Unity Party on tonight's program. And we have for Team Gongolo, Tiamon Gongolo, we have our brother Bush Tati. Bush Tati will be here representing Team Gongolo. And for the ANC, we have the tough talking Honorable Jan Volule. Today is his birthday. We want to use this time to say on behalf of the Logan's Hour and on behalf of all of your friends in Indianapolis, we want to say happy birthday to you, Honorable Representative. He's the representative, the Liberian representative to EULA. Today is his birthday. He celebrated 1 year today. We want to say to you, Mr. Jan Volule, happy birthday. We pray that the Almighty God strengthen you and give you long life as you celebrate your birthday. Enjoy your little day, my dear brother. Enjoy yourself. And over the weekend, we saw our princess, the Logan's our princess. She had added to her achievement. The Logan our princess obtained a degree just a few days. Tutu Makati. Tutu Makati, we want to say congratulations to you as you celebrating another milestone added to you. The Logan's Hours and all of your friends in the community and around the world, we want to say congratulations. Indeed, education has no end. Keep shining. Keep shining. The more you learn, the more you add your paycheck up. All right, so today's conversation will be a great one. We have a psychologist saying here, they say when you focus on problems, you will have more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you will have more opportunities. So today, as you join this conversation, we would love for you to participate. Because most times, if you follow how our conversation go on this program, we love for our viewers and those who watching us to participate in these conversations. Because the issue about Liberia is about all of us. It's not about one person. But to that conversation, if you participate, we will be so glad. And not to be a little insensitive, to not let's show some light. Let's sympathize with the people of Syria and the people of Turkey. It has been this heavy earthquake took place in Turkey and Syria. The whole ground shook and story buildings and everything went on, and they came down crumbling. And the death toll right now in Syria and Turkey is over 7,700 people. Just from Turkey alone, it has surpasses 5,800 people have died in Turkey, and in Syria, 1,800 people have also died from the latest release that came up. So let's keep them in prayers. Let's keep our finger crossed and keep praying for the people of Syria and Turkey. We have Liberians in all those places, and regardless if we don't have Liberia in those places, it is important that we pray for our brothers who are really going through difficult time at this moment. And want to okay, I see one person is already in the waiting room, and the rest of the other guys will be joining us shortly. I can see the celebrant, Mr. Jan Volule. He will also be joining us shortly. Mr. Jeremiah Chie, guys, we will expect you guys to be on time. Like our guest, Team Gongolo, they may have proven and they have broken another record on today's edition again, because Mr. Gongolo is one of those people who really respect time. I remember the other time when we had Mr. Gongolo on our platform here, when he told us 10 o'clock, indeed 10 o'clock, he was ready. And when we tried to contact him, he was like, I'm here. Okay, Mr. Joshua K. Powell, you have to check your text message. You have to be in studio, my dear brother. Joshua K. Powell, you have to be in studio. Stephen K. McGill, we want to say welcome to the Logan's Hour. Precious Logan Samuels, we want to say welcome to the Logan's Hour. My dear friend and brother, Sabasin Daba, we want to say welcome to the Logan's Hour and welcome to all of you who following us here, those of you following us. And somebody in, what's the guy name? following us from Ghana. Somebody sent me an email from Ghana today and asking when the show gonna start. I'm in Ghana. I said, whoa. And I told him when the show gonna start. So I expect him to be watching tonight. Probably he might be watching from the YouTube. Like I said, all the people you see on the screen, they are not all the people who watching. We have people who watching from the YouTube as well. We have people who watching on my other page because we have a Facebook page called the Logan's Hour. Then most of the people follow us on our private page as well. So if you're following this program tonight, we want to say if you can share, that will be a great thing. Let people hear from Mr. Bush, Tati. Let's hear about the team Gongolo. We have been hearing about team Gongolo, and thanks to Sis Malon Wea, she's one of the people in town here. Everywhere she go, people call her Gongolo, 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 to the point where they can be missing my own money and be calling her Gongolo as well. But we want to say tonight we have one of the key supporter here from Team Coming. And we have the Unity Party guy who he just hit the studio. We have the CDC man will soon be coming in as well, Mr. J. Joshua K. Power. So today promise to be a very great show. I can rest assured you guys today will be a very, 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 very great show. So before we can go into our program tonight, we will be discussing Mr. Tiawan Gongolo. His representative here tonight will be telling us why should we vote for Mr. Gongolo? Why should people vote for Gongolo? Why Gongolo stand a chance to win the 2023 election? What are the good promises that Gongolo have that the Liberian people are going to benefit from us or benefit from? He will be giving up more. He'll be expanding more on Gongolo deliverables in the past and what Gongolo stands to present to the Liberian people come 2023. And after 2023, how Liberia going to be corruption free, or however way he decide to fight corruption, because that's Mr. Gongolo signature mark that he always move with a yard broom and say he's sweeping corruption. And we have Mr. Joshua K. Power here will be defending His Excellency President George Martin Weah. He'll be telling us why President Weah should be elected for the next 6 years and what are his accomplishments and why the Liberian people should trust him. And he would just drive into some of those things that President Weah been doing. And why the people will not elect President Weah the second term, it will be from the opposition camp to defend this side. And we'll have Mr. Jeremiah Chie here. He will also be defending Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai and the Unity Party. Why this time should be the Unity Party turn. Why it's time for Ambassador Boakai to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. We have Mr. Jeremiah Chie coming from that position. Then we will have Mr. Jan Volule, who will also be here telling us why this time around the Liberian people should trust Mr. Cummings, why the corporate guy should become the next president of the Republic of Liberia. There are other school of thoughts, people saying that Mr. Cummings, he's new to this business. He have no governmental ideas, and who knows? So we have 3 people coming from the opposition tonight who are going to be sizing Mr. J. Joshua K. Powell here on this program. So we look to have a very, 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 very interesting program here, as I stated. So get familiar with the 4 people who's in the lead. They will have tons of other candidates in the lead when it comes to the Liberian presidency, but we have the 4 major contender. We have Mr. Councillor Tiawan Gongolo. We have His Excellency President George Martin Weah. We have Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, and we have Mr. Elizana Cummings. So because they are the 4 forerunner right now, that when you talk about the election in Liberia, everybody going to refer to either one of these people. So we want to say, well, tonight program we'll be discussing the 4 characters here tonight. And we want to say again, happy birthday to our brother. Today his birthday, but he still have to come here and defend his candidate, Mr. Jan Volule. You can see him with his body of moe. All the more he get, he can be holding the body again, drinking liquor. Yeah. So all of you following us here today, the Liberian community of Indiana have put a press release. So before we can get involved with our guests, let's read this press release that came up from the Secretary of the Liberian Association of Indiana, his Mr. Robert Carey. So we will first we're going to, all right. I see Mr. Jan Volula, I see Mr. Jeremiah Chie, and I see Mr. Bush Tati. They are all in studio right now. waiting for the CDC guy, Mr. Joshua K. Power. Mr. Joshua K. Power, you have to check your text message, or maybe I can send it to your Facebook message too, so you can be in studio on time, because I think you are the main man here tonight. That everybody gonna be chewing your bone. Joshua K. Power. Okay, Mr. Joshua K. Power Senior. I'm sending the link to. All right, there you have it. So I see everybody in studio right now. So to those of you who following us on Facebook and on YouTube, we want to say thank you for joining us today. We're going to be involved into Liberian politics. Who stand a chance to become the next president of the Republic of Liberia come 2023. We have 4 interesting people here who are the forerunner currently. There are other people who will be contesting the positions, but we have the 4 people who are the major contender here. We have Mr. Edizana Cummings, represented by Mr. Jan Volula tonight. You see how 2 of them resemble? So Mr. Cummings will be here today. Mr. Jan Volula will be telling the Liberian people why Mr. Cummings should be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. We have His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaga, former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. We have Mr. Jeremiah Chie will be defending Mr. Joseph Boaga, or Ambassador Joseph Boaga, on this program here tonight. And we have the tough talking Joshua Power. He will be here defending His Excellency Bekugbe George Mane Fokeklon Tape Mane. We are telling us why he should be elected for the next 6 years coming after November. And we have Mr. Tati here tonight. He will be telling us more about my dear friend, brother Timolin George can say the dark horse. So we will consider Mr. Tiawan Gongolo tonight to be the dark horse, the man where everybody not expecting, coming from the blind side, and probably he could just slap it from between them, and that's it. It's just a 1-round victory. So we are hoping to have a very, 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 very great discussion here tonight. So before we go straight into the conversation, let's just get the press conference that were put up today by the Liberian Association of Indiana, by the Secretary General, Mr. Robert Carey. So this is the press statement on the screen. So they say here, Liberian Association of Indiana, 55 South State Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46201, Suite 314. Office of the Secretary General. Press release. The Liberian Association of Indiana likes to inform the Liberian community that due to public outcry, that the scheduled Valentine's Day program be canceled. The scheduled Valentine's program be canceled. The administration has postponed the Valentine's Day program to time indefinite. The administration will later decide whether the Valentine's program will be held, or this year Valentine's program be dedicated to the children of this community, as was displayed by the Youth and Sport Committee last Saturday, February 4th, 2023. The administration is, for the second time, calling on all local organizations that have major events taking place in the state of Indiana this year to send a formal communication to the Secretary General at Carey, CAREYHOLDING 2015 @gmail.com with time and date no later than February 15, 2023. This flow of communication is to help the administration coordinate local organizations and mobilize their community to attend all local events. Those who have sending their communication will be prioritized if there is a conflict of time and dates. Please note that the last 2 weeks in July, which is from July 17 to July 29, are set aside for the Liberian Association of Indiana July 26 program celebration. God bless our community and our association. Kindly, your Secretary General, Mr. Robert C. Carey, dated February 7, 2023. So that's the Secretary of the Liberian Community of Indiana. This is a press release that came out today, calling on local organizations. If you have date sets for programs that you want to have, you can also send those in. They will have you jot down or whatever way possible they want to do it. But I also disagree with that the other day, but to each his own. I feel that the association need to put up your calendar events, then the other organizations can go by what you have. All right, so this is from the Youth and Sport Department, LAI Youth and Sport Department, Valentine's Day Art and Crafts. From the Youth and Sport Department, we would like to say thank you to the community for coming up and supporting our first event. It was a great turnout, and we look forward to our next event. Special thanks to our volunteers and all the parents that help us during the program. We would like to also thank the Logan's Hour and the Open Table for allowing us to promote our program on their media platform, and all those that promoted individually. A very special thank you to our donors for donating to this event. It was used to make the program exceptional for the kids. Below are their names. Sis Isabella Namwe, Mr. Ernest Mallison, Mr. Philip Logan, Mrs. Mami Bayukeda, Sis Titi Banks, Ma Annie Gibson, Mr. Jan Volule, Mr. Ivan Logan, Mr. Tali Volker, Mrs. Wilmore and Richard Boya, Mr. and Mrs. Samba, and Sis Winter Snow. So those are the people who donated to the youth department. I want to say thank you so much for donating to the youth department. It was a very great thing to see the young people coming up, and we know that more will happen. And before we go through the conversation tonight, we have all of our people seated now. Those will be participating in the program here. We have Didier following. We have Ma Annie Gibson following. We have 6 TT Banks. We have Brenny Alpha, tough talking Brenny Alpha. She should have been here to moderate tonight, but she run away. We have Brenny Alpha because she won't be for the too elaborate politics. Before she go be calling Boaka. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Oh, I have my brother Stephen K. McGill and all of you following us here. I want to say thank you, Didier, Ma Annie Gibson, G Consistent Morris, and Sis Marlon Weir, and all of those following us from around the world. Ghana, I have somebody following us from Ghana. The person wanted to be on time, so the person had to send email and say, "Oh, when the show starting? I'm following from Ghana." I read an email. I'm like, wow. So the man ready here for his candidate, but who knows? Ask your question in the comment section. We also will have time to put in your calls. 30 minutes to the end of the show. Another person you're following us from Wales, Swaziland. Thank you so much, my dear brother, for following us from Swaziland. Thank you so much. Ebi Wanta. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, my dear brother. So to all of you following us tonight, we're about to go straight into the conversation. If you have any question for any of our guests on here, so you can put your question in the comment section one way, or you can wait 20 minutes to the end of the program. You can ask your question. And when you ask your question, you can direct your question to each of the guests in studio here tonight, defending each of these candidates that we just displayed. So those we'll be discussing tonight here. We have Moses Sangbe. Thank you for joining us as well. And we have, tonight we'll be discussing 4 distinct individuals in the Liberian body politics. That's we stated. We saw the flyer been going around. So we have President George Weah, His Excellency. We have Ambassador Joseph Yuman Boaka, Mr. Tiawan Gongolo, and Mr. Alexander Cummings. The question here is, who is most likely to win the presidential election in 2023? So in the comment section, you can ask your question, or you can also call at the end of the show. The number will be pinned on the Facebook Live. If you're following, you'll see the number pinned on the Facebook Live right there. Yeah. So we're posting the number right now. The number will be pinned right on there. You will call 30 minutes to the end of the show. That's when we will be taking calls. So let's bring in the first person here who's representing Mr. Alexander Cummings. This is his second appearance here representing Mr. Alexander Cummings. He represented Mr. Alexander Cummings the first time against some of the tough talking guys from the Joseph Boaka camp. And he's no stranger to this conversation. He has been into this thing for some time. Today is his birthday. You all know him. He is the son of Nima Kante and the acting president of the Nima Kante Association, Indiana chapter. He's no other person but His Excellency, Honorable Jan Volule.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Thank you so much, Mr. Volule. Then we have we have here the second person, Mr. Bush Tati. Mr. Bush Tati here to represent Mr. Tiamon Gongolo, that I consider as the dark horse, the person who everybody looking at to be the change agent of Liberia. And Mr. Bush Tati will be here. Today is his first day on the looking out, just to make that clear. He's making his debut and he's here to market Mr. Tiamon Gongolo. So those of you who don't know Mr. Bush Tati, Mr. Bush Tati is coming on. So to the Liberian community, we want to say, here can your Homo 7, Mr. Bush Tati.
Well, thank you, Mr. Logan, for inviting me on your show to represent Councillor Tiawan S. Gonglo. We're happy to be here, and we're happy for the opportunity to let people know who Councillor Gonglo is and why he should be the best choice for every voter in the upcoming elections.
Thank you so much. Just for your introduction, I can tell that this program is going to be very interesting tonight. And those of you who are going to watch this program later on, you're going to listen to why you should vote and who you should vote for. Tonight's conversation is very, very interesting. I can say some people watching it right now. My mom is right now in her living room and she's having it on her YouTube and on the TV. So tonight she will have the opportunity to know who else running in Liberia and why the people should vote. I told you you're on the show, my mom born 13 children, 10 boys, 3 girls. And all of my mom born her last child 1989. So it means her grandchildren and all they are of voting age. So whoever convinced her when she called back home and say, hey, listen, that man I want you to vote for, you can take 10 votes from her, trust me. So I have tonight representing the Unity Party, tough talking Jeremiah Chief. Everybody know him. He knows stranger to the business. Today, he will be here defending the Unity Party coming from the Joseph Boaka angle. You know, the Unity Party and the Joseph Boaka angle, they are two set of people. Some people say they're only supporting Joseph Yuma Boaka, they are not part of the Unity Party. So when he introducing himself, you will tell what he represents here tonight, or if he's supporting the Unity Party and Boaka, or he's supporting Boaka presidential bid. Who knows? So, with all due respect, we'll bring on the stage IRC chairperson of the Liberian Association of Media, His Excellency Jeremiah Chiu. Yeah, mute my brother. Okay.
Oh, Mr. Logan, thank you. Thank you once more. Thanks to all the panelists. A special happy birthday to the minister in studio, Master Jan Vulule.
Thank you.
I hope you're celebrating well, and we look forward to a fruitful discussion. Thanks to all people following this show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Chia. So to those of you following here, I want to say thank you again for joining the conversation. Don't forget, you are on the Logan's Hour. You can also put your question in the comment sections. That's where most time we'll take our question from to ask our guests. And those of you who want to wait at the end of the program to place your call, it will also be important to also place your call at the end of the program, 30 minutes at the end of the program. So we have representing here His Excellency, the President George Manawia, Mr. J. Joshua K. Power, who is the current Vice President of the Bassa Association, the Indiana chapter, and he currently in Ohio. He will be representing President George Manawia. I have a little feedback, so I'll mute you and see who the feedback comes from. And later on, we will speak up. All right, I have everybody muted, so I have only Mr. Joshua K. Power unmuted. So, not to eat up the time here, we want to bring in our dear brother and friend, the Honorable J. Joshua K. Power Sr.
Thank you
Mr.
very
Power?
much. Thank you very, very much for bringing us on this great platform. It's a pleasure meeting these great gentlemen to have a conversation with them. Look forward to a very fruitful discussion. Unfortunately, my original page, the Facebook blog is ready myself friend on. So please send me friend request. I will post a picture today, but I just heard it today.
No problem.
Happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. J. Joshua K. Power. So we have all of our guests in studio here now. And we have Mr. J. Joshua K. Power Sr. We have Mr. Jan Volule, Mr. Bush Dati. And we have his Honorable Jeremiah Chip seated here currently. So, you know, the people can say the people should start first. In the conversation, we're going to go to the topic directly on the flyer. Why should your candidate become the next president of the Republic of Liberia. So we're going to go around the table, start from Mr. Jan Voluda to introduce himself, followed by Mr. Bush Tati up there. Then we'll come to Mr. Joshua Kepa. We'll go to Mr. Chie to formally introduce himself to those following us, because we have people following us from Ghana, Liberia, the other men following us from Swaziland up here. So let's hear from you, Jan. Just do your 1 minute introduction quick. Then we'll go to Mr. Tati to introduce himself.
Well, once again, I want to say I'm privileged to once again be on the Logan's Hour. Thank you, Mr. Logan, for your invitation. As always, I appreciate everything you do. You know, this platform was built for us to spread the knowledge around to, you know, enlighten our people, especially in back home, especially this time of the year, the year where we're about to make some critical decisions of our lives, you know, in the country. The decision that will either take us backward or take us one step up the ladder, you know, in Liberia. So thank you. I'm here in selling the vision of Mr. Edizana B. Cummings, you know, and to, you know, educate or inform the Liberian people all around the globe of why Edizana Cummings this time should be the president of Liberia. Liberia was founded since 1847. Since that time, I was born 1987. Since I was born, since my existence on the planet Earth, Liberia have always been the way it is. They have not seen any changes. You know, every time I turn around, I ask elderly people, you know, that were born before me. And when I ask them, they say, oh, one day Liberia will be better. When will Liberia be better? If my generation, the technology generation, this generation that light is everywhere in every dark corners of the country, you know, that we see every full spring, every step you take, we're seeing it. If this generation will not change Liberia, which generation? When will Liberia change? So we are here to you know, bring in candidates that will have travel, that have that charisma, that have that leadership skills, that have the track record that you can follow. Every company, everywhere that he has worked, he always rise to the top. And when you ask him, every time you ask him, what he will tell you is he learned from the job. You know, he learned from the job. My questions tonight is all past Liberian leaders, what have they learned from the job? Those that have running now, they've been in government, they've been all around the country. What have they learned that will bring change? What type of fresh idea do they have that will change this country? So I'm here tonight, and I'm privileged to be here with the big brother, Mr. Bush Tati. It's my first time seeing you, and to have a fruitful discussion with you. Always, it is a pleasure to be on the same platform. It is always a privilege to be on the same platform with Mr. J. Joshua Powell, the great from Ohio, and my dear brother, Mr. Jeremiah Che, the most tough talking man in our community. Thank you, and I'm looking up to a very fruitful discussion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jan Volula. I told you the man, he's tough talking. I just asked him to introduce himself. The man already started with his policies. So you know how you're going to be here tonight. It's going to be hot. I can rest assure you. So, Mr. Tati, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so Mr. Logan, I want to thank you very much for inviting me to your platform. At least to give the Liberian people an opportunity to understand what the elections is going to be about. This elections is very crucial because we know the direction our country is headed, and it's going to be interesting elections because we have a lot on the line. We have to turn this country around, and not just turn it around, but push it as hard as we can to get back on track. So I'm grateful for the opportunity you've provided so that people in TV land and radio land can follow and listen and learn reasons why they need to vote for a certain candidate. I wanted to say a big thank you to all the panelists who showed up to defend their candidates and help enlighten the Liberian people and to say welcome to all the audience who are paying attention and even those who will listen to the recording. So once again, thank you for inviting us to the platform and giving Councillor Gonglo a chance so the people can know that Councillor Gonglo is the best bet in the race.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tati. So those of you undecided voters, those of you that have decided and they don't know which way to go, you have a proper opportunity here to listen to each of the candidates, each of the representation here tonight who represented each of the candidates. I see the Gongolo movement is on here, Gongolo 2023. And I see the Unity Party people also here tonight to hear from Mr. Jeremiah Chia. But let's start from His Excellency Begube, representative here tonight, Mr. J. Joshua K. Powell. Mr. Joshua K. Powell, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Well, the name is J. Joshua K. Power Senior. I'm the CEO of the Conversation with Power, and I'm here to remind the people of Liberia what is tangible development and to remind them that we have heard promises for many years, and it is time to continue with what is being started and to give the Liberian people what they have not had for a very long time. So I look forward to this gentleman to prove the case, to give a reason why we should give them chance come 2029, after His Excellency, my friend, the President of the Republic of Liberia, has set the base and give us a foundation to continue with. Thank you very much. I look forward to this, guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Powell. So, Mr. Powell saying, give Begube the chance to have for next 6 years. If so, we hear from our panelists here today. So let's go to Mr. Jeremiah Chia, representing the Unity Party. Mr. Chia, go ahead and introduce yourself, my dear brother. You are muted. Unmute yourself.
Who following us through radio, TV, via the internet, and YouTube, Facebook, would like to say thanks for joining us. I would like to say I'm Jeremiah Chia. I'm no stranger to the spectacles of Liberian politics. So as we deliberate on this discussion, we like to tell all of our audience that the issue now that is at stake is very grave, and the Liberian people needs to be rescued. That's why Rescue One, along with a host of other politicians, well-meaning politicians, are there to take charge of that country and make sure our people, we go back to post-war or Liberia, where our people can be able to fend for themselves and live a relatively peaceful and civilized life. I believe at this juncture, this coalition, I believe in the coalition, first of all. I know that I support Vice President Boyka, but I know this thing isn't holistically on the Unity Party's shoulders to do. I know that with the teaming up of all those, even the panelists here can tell you that Mr. Tati will tell you that the UP, Team Gonglo, and ANC will all join at some point in time to ensure that President Weah is not re-elected. Because if he's re-elected, it doesn't fall only on us here in studios. The Liberian people know what they go through, and we see it on a daily basis. So we hope that as we proceed in this discussion, we will be able to deliver more.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Chia. So today, if you're following us here, today going to be a very great conversation. And we have 4 distinguished gentlemen in studio here today. So we're going to be discussing why Mr. Gongolo or Mr. Boyka or Mr. Cummings or His Excellency Joseph Yumon Boyka or President Weah should remain in Liberia for the next 6 years or should serve the Liberian people for the next 6 years. And today we'll be touching on security, the economy, health, and education. So we have 4 places that we'll be touching because what makes a better president, these are the 4 places, the 4 issues that the Liberian people are confronted with on a daily basis. Some say the education system is a mess. Some say the healthcare system is actually a total mess. Some talk about the economy. And most often we talk about our security in Liberia. And Mr. Tiawan Gongolo talk about the security. Security include corruption and all of those things. So today we'll be talking more about the four things that we just listed here because of time factor. So we ask if you're going to defend your candidate, if you can chip in the security sector, how you intend to make it more stronger, how you decide or how your candidate will make it more independent, void of EPS officer wearing political party T-shirt and all those things. How can we make the security sector more stronger? Because over the gone time on Saturday, EPS officer was seen wearing a political party T-shirt while he had a gun in his hand. It is clear. It's all on Facebook. You can see on the screen here currently. So we'll talk about our security sector too. Then we'll also jump on the economy because we've been talking about George Weah said he met a broken economy. Mada said he said you lie, you met money there. Spring Johnson said the George Weah might turn in show all the turn or note. They are been the wholehearted and putting from one side to the other side. And we're going to talk about the healthcare system too, because all the time we see when our big people, quote unquote big people, sick or have minor illness, they travel out of the country to go to other places to get medical attention. How will your candidate make it more better when he or she become president of the Republic of Liberia? Then, more specifically, we're going to touch on the education system. Some people say to have a better country, it's not about infrastructure, it's about educating your people. When you educate your people will build a nation. So it's like God said he will not concentrate on facing the world. He will face man, then man will go and face the world. So today we'll be touching on the four issues here. I hope you guys remember it. So as you expanding more on your candidate, you can talk about the security sector, you can talk about the economy, you can talk about the health, and you talk about education, how your candidate will make it more vibrant and make it works for the Liberian people, make the system more enabling that all Liberians cannot suffer as to what they have been going through in the past, because every current administration suffered in the past. So we want to see those are coming in the future. His Excellency, Edizana Cummings, want to hear from the person here representing Mr. Edizana Cummings, what Mr. Edizana Cummings have for security, the economy, health, and education. Same to Mr. Buaka, representative here as well. Same to His Excellency George, we are representative here, and same to Mr. Tiawan Gonglu, representative here tonight. So we're going to start with the people who in power. It's Mr. J. Joshua K. Power Sr. Mr. J. Joshua K. Power Sr., the question is there already. Who is likely to win this 2023 election and why? Touching on all of these here: security, economy, health, and education. Your minutes run now. You got 5 minutes to go.
Thank you very much. Very fair question. Why George will actually be considered or reconsidered to be president of the Republic of Liberia? Number one reason, and great respect to Tiawan Gonglo. I'm not going to put him into a failed system called the CPP. So let me deal with the guys who defending ANC and the Unity Party. The reason why George Weah will be re-elected is because these people, they are failed politicians. They are very, very greedy. They are selfish people. They don't love the Liberian people. They are there for the self gain. And so for that reason, George Weah is going to be re-elected because the people know that they want tangible development. And in simple English, tangible development means things that you can see, things that you can hold on to, things that you can point to, things that you have not seen for many years. And when I always talk to people why I support George Weah, if not for the main thing that he's doing for Liberia, at least for one thing, he said he will build roads. Why road? From 1847, a country where somebody will be president for 27 years and other people for 10 years, and they can't even connect their own country to capital city. This man say he will build road, and he has started doing it. When road comes, there will be development. Otherwise, we are crying for today. I listened to a lady from Nima County. She was celebrating because there's a road from her hometown to Secretary and other places where when she bring her market from When she bring a produce from on the farm, she will be able to get it sold and go to Morovia quickly. I work in rural area, Grand Junior Rivers and other places. During the reading season time, people can sell the produce. Even we who were NGO workers, we will get stuck on even buy the food. So for that reason, we even buy the food. Why? Because there is no road. So just we are promised to build road, to develop road, to increase the road. Why should I not vote for such a person? Why should I not campaign for such a person who want you to see what development is? Like Yan was doing in his introductory statement. Since he was born, he had never seen any good thing of Liberia. Then he went back to ask people that were born before him. They can't give him no account. But if Yan traveled now to Liberia, he can drive on the Somala freeway with a very good space. He will be able to drive from matter of fact, Yan is a very smart, young, educated man who should be supporting this government because his country is developing and benefiting more when it comes to road development. You can now travel from Secretary to other far areas. Those are tangible development that Yan have never seen in your lifetime. When I was in Yan County, when you travel from one end to another, your face turn brown. But George Weah said no. This young man cannot come from America and want to go to Secretary and Tabata and then your whole body turn brown and people cannot even recognize him. RRA road been there for Christ know how long. Very old road, small. Every time we lost thousands of people on that road. One of them was the great representative. He died on that road. Joey said, no, the road is too small. Let's try to increase the road. Let's extend the road. The process is going on. We're talking about, let me touch a base on education. Education is very, very important to George Weah. Very, very important. One of his strong people. You want to make sure that our people, our children get good education. What do? Open free school, all public school, community college in Lima County, free. Grand Bassa University, not college, Grand Bassa University is free. All the community colleges, public school, free. Why yet? There are many people in Liberia today that were denied from DV because they could not get WIAC certificate. So we are saying, I will pay for your free of charge. Some parents can pay for WIAC, pay their children's school fee, but they can't afford to pay that WIAC fee. Many times the children will just go and get a high school diploma, then they either go do reset or they don't take it at all because they don't even have the means to get money. So Joga said he will pay. Let me get touch on health quick. Mm-hmm. In Bapolu County, Bapolu of all county, the people in Bapolu celebrating a modern hospital when COVID hit Liberia. 14 military will be the safe zone. George Weah is doing this thing as tangible. Gentlemen, I want you to underline the word tangible development, not promises. Not people who will confess and say, yeah, we'll have opportunity, but we'll strengthen them. We started Liberian people money. Now people who will break down the CPP and cannot maintain.
All right, Joshua. Thank you so much for that. So that was the voice of Joshua K. Powell. Those of you following us, he had 5 minutes. He touched on the economy. He touched on education, but I never heard him on health and security. But probably when he come back the next time, he will touch on health and security. Because I saw people following in the comment section talking about the economy and people asking about security. I saw that from the financial secretary of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Fatima Famula here. She said, let's go to security and the economy. So when he come back, he will touch on security and the economy as well. So if you have your question, you can put your question in the comment section. We'll be asking your questions later on after they're done with their 5 minutes. Then we can also talk about other issues. So let's go to Mr. Edizana Cummings. We have our dear brother here representing Mr. Edizana Cummings, Mr. Yan Volule. Mr. Yan Volule, the floor is yours. Tell us why Mr. Edizana Cummings should be elected in 2023, touching on more the policy on security, the economy, health, and education.
Thank you, Mr. Logan, once again. why the question is why Mr. Ellis Cummings? The simple term ABC. Why? Because Ellis Cummings is a born Liberian who know the struggle. He started primary education in Liberia. He went to, to Collington, and later on got the opportunity to travel abroad and make use of out of his education. Mr. Cummings have Liberia at heart. Mr. Cummings don't need anything from Liberia. Mr. Cummings is settled for life. Even minus the presidency, Mr. Cummings don't need a cent from anybody to live a better life. Mr. Cummings is in a race to bring change, like what I previously said, to bring change, things that I have not seen in my life, that I have seen other country or other kids that were born, with me in the 80s, have seen for Liberia's children to be able to benefit from those things. Mr. Cummings have traveled, he has seen things, he has built an economy that have worked for people all around the globe. Mr. Cummings, he's not like our old man Boakai, who said he was a packer. As vice president for Coca-Cola Global, he didn't say because I'm second in command, so I don't have anything to do. So he worked diligently and worked along with the CEO and the president of Coca-Cola to transform the system and bring businesses to where businesses, to bring Coca-Cola to where Coca-Cola was not in the world. Mr. Cummings is a man who will uplift the Liberian economies. He's a growth-driven leader who have proven the track record is there. You can Google him. Thank God for Google these days. You can Google him. Your track record is there. Every company that Mr. Cummings has worked, he rose to the top. His eyes always on growth. So I heard Mr. Joshua Power bragging about roads, that as Nibalians will be traveling to Kakata or Kakata, not Kakata, but Tapeta, they will not get dust on their face. What Mr. Joshua Power forgetting to know is these are things that are meant for us Liberians. We are not begging for it. It's there. The funds are there. The funds are there. Nima Kante should be one of the countries that should be developed. Nima Kante, Lofa Kante, Grand Basso, where are you from, Mr. Power? These are the countries that need to be developed because why? Most of our minerals from the country, they are from those countries. And all those concessions that were passed during the past regime, these countries were greatly affected by those concessions and stuff. So for you to sit here and say that, or because he how you call him, George Weah built 1 kilometer of road, so we should give him the chance. One thing we got to understand here is when George Weah was football player, he didn't have the 42 duplexes he have in Liberia.
We will come to the time for rebuttal. We'll come to rebuttal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
so Mr. Cummings will build our economies, will attract, or how you call it, investors in the country, because he's a growth-driven leader who have proven to every investors around the globe that he can do it, and he have done it before, and they are seeing the credibility in him. Security-wise, Mr. Cummings will look at what happened to Mr. Cummings during this gone time. Mr. Cummings have to hire people from out of country to come and investigate the case. That means the country, no security in the country. Based on the report that the foreign investigator provided, the case was immediately dismissed. If they have, Mr. Cummings have relied on Liberian security, the justice system, it won't have happened. Mr. Cummings will be beyond bad today. I will not even be here talking about Mr. Cummings being on the body. So Mr. Cummings know the importance of security.
30 seconds.
As a businessman, he know the importance of security. He know in order for investors to come in your community or in your country to invest, the security system has to be tangible, which Mr. Joshua Power or government is not doing today. or the educational system. He know the importance. That's why he built the STEM schools in Liberia, because why? The science and technologies and mathematics is one of those that every country around the world prioritize.
Thank
So
you so
that's why
much.
he brought that to the country. So
Thank you so
healthcare
much.
will come on later on in my next
Thank you so much, Mr. Jan Volula. So Mr. Jan Volula said he will touch on health when he come back the second round. So I want to say thanks to Mr. Jan Volula and Mr. Joshua K. Powell for expanding more on their potential candidate or their candidate coming 2023. And we will be going to the Unity Party. His Excellency, former Vice President Jose Yuma Boakai, represented here by Mr. Jeremiah Chie. So, Mr. Jeremiah Chie, the question is why should the Liberian people elect Mr. Boakai come 2023? We want you to touch on security, the economy, health, and education. Why should Ambassador Boakai be trusted come 2023 by Liberian people? Thank you. Your
Well,
time.
thank you very much. First of all, let me demystify all the claims made by Mr. Joshua Powell. Mr. Joshua Powell sits in his comfort in Columbus and wants to deceive the Liberian people. He knows full well that there's no any means necessary for Liberians to be afforded security in their own country.
Mhm.
Now he spews all these narrative.
Oh, my dear brother. Try. Come back.
Acting as if all is well and all is normal.
Mhm.
Because number one, I've been in the sector for over 12 years. I know what it is. If you in a country and the president tells you buy your CCTV to record things on your own, it tells you that there's no security. If you're in a country where the response time of the police is ineffective, it tells you there's no security. If you in a country that even investigation goes nowhere, it tells you that there's no security in the country. And for now, the security of Liberia is in a deplorable state because we've seen our partisan police, partisan military officers and paramilitary officers, which has not been the case in the past. So right now, if my brother would tell me that Liberia is safe simply because of these things going on, then I beg to differ with him. On the issue of the economy, we all know that the economy is thriving. It is in cool, especially they will blame everything on COVID. But there's no and ever had there been any ounce of truth coming from this government. This government has been receiving lots of donations, lots of funding, lots of projects implementation finances, but they have been diverting it to their own personal gains. And if you have a country wherein you see 1.5 million is like $5 US. You take that and you go watch a soccer game for a month and come back and you make no report on it and you're telling the people that the economy is great. You're just telling them that you're taking things. And I will just brush over them on the surface because the minutes allotted to these topics is very minimal. On the issue of healthcare, you cannot look in my face and tell me there's healthcare in Liberia right now. Because even a fortnight ago, the Minister of Finance had an accident and he was flown all over the country for treatment. So then in this government built or the state of the art 14 military hospital, why the minister couldn't seek treatment there? Then this government just commissioned a new hospital. They were calling something from the Dubai fund or something like that. Why he didn't seek treatment there? He went outside the country to seek treatment. What happens to the poor Liberians who don't have that means to do that? The people, the state of dying in Liberia now is almost as if there's a war. You understand me? The emergency response time for any patient on bed, you buy your own fuel, they plug the generator, you take your treatment, you go. When you go, you carry your machine with you or your gas that you bought. How is that? How is that a country anyway? If people will buy their own things simply because they want to keep lamp on their head or because they want for the oxygen to run, you saw the reports. You saw what precipitated that. On the issue of education, when this from the inception of this government said they were bringing 6,000 teachers from Nigeria. Up to now, half of those teachers, even one said income. Those professors, they said they were doing so many things that are not come to fruition. You see, nowadays, a president would take money and say, okay, I'll pay your WIAC fees. These are not the procedures. You have the Ministry of Education. who you should channel all those things through. The people will provide as the best brains gets the scholarship. You're not just, if you're covering everything, it's not your name thing because you didn't do those things prior to your ascendancy to that office. Now you're doing things, you say you're sponsoring people, you're doing all those kind of things. All those things aren't necessary because you sponsor people only to get the spotlight. Oh, I did this. I did this. The president did this, which is all flamboyancy. And I think the Liberian people deserves more because it's their taxpayer money, it's their money. And if you're using it and putting your name to it, even if you buy cars for the police, you put your picture on it. You buy anything you buy in the country. If the president places his face on it, then it means that the whole country is like a partisan country. We don't run a state like that. That's why we will show the joint opposition, the combined opposition. After the first round, we'll ensure we take Mr. Weah from power because it's becoming too deplorable for our people. Thank you.
Yes, sorry for that. Sorry for that. I have myself muted. Mr. Chia calling on the joint opposition collaboration. So that's a good one. So it's like if the opposition unite here on this show, so it means that three going against one here. So shut your power. You are in a real tough zone tonight. So let's go to Mr. Tati. Mr. Tati here tonight. Mr. Tati, today your first day on the Logan's Hour. I want to say thank you for joining Logan's Hour, and thanks to all of you who following us here today. And we want to ask the same question to Mr. Tati. Mr. Tati, coming 2023, we see Mr. Tiawan Gongolo is in the race and ranging from security, the economy, health, and education. Why should the Liberian people vote for Mr. Tiawan Gongolo come 2023? 5 minutes.
Thank you again, Mr. Logan.
Mm-hmm.
I see Mr. Powell was a bit slick by saying 2029. That's when that's what we're vying for. I just want to make that correction. Mr. Powell, we're talking about 2023 elections. And the reason we're going to remove the Weah government is because of what they've done with our money, what they've done with our government, what they've done with the rule of law, how our health and education systems are all deteriorated. Now, the reason I can tell you that Councillor Gonglo is the best president candidate in the race is because of certain characteristics. I'll give you 5 characteristics of Councillor Gonglo that makes him the best in the race. Mm-hmm. One is his integrity level is very high, and you need that kind of integrity in a government where the people are accustomed to stealing with impunity. And so whatever change comes to this government and to this country has to begin with the president. So the president has to have a very high integrity level. Everybody on this show and everybody in the opposition, and including the incumbent government, knows of Councillor Gonglo's integrity. The second thing about Councillor Gonglo is, of all the candidates, he's the most experienced. He didn't just sit supinely when he worked with Dr. Amos Sawyer. He was a special assistant to Dr. Amos Sawyer. He did a lot of work. He wrote speeches. He represented him in meetings. He attended meetings. He's actually seen what is like working as a president. The third thing about Councillor Gonglo is he's a very transformational leader. And I'm not just saying it to use the terminology transformational, but if the time permits, I'll give you reasons why he's transformational. There are things that he's done in all his limited roles when he served in government and when he served outside of government. Things that he's done that you can reference as transformational. And right now, where Liberia is, we don't just need a change. We don't just need a new leader. We understand Alexander Cummings is not corrupt. We understand Vice President Joseph Boyka is not corrupt. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is not corrupt. But pray tell me, what does that do for the country? The three of them are not corrupt. Even if they combine their honesty, it doesn't help the country. You have to go further than being not corrupt. You have to be able to stand up to corruption, stand up to people who are corrupt. And the only person whose history we see that in is Councillor Gonglo. I will bet anybody here on this show to point out in Dr. Vice President Boyka's history where he stood up to corruption. I like the old man. The old man is not corrupt. The old man has served diligently in government. It's just that I didn't see that history where he stands up to corruption. And I feel that, okay, Omen Boyka is not corrupt, but how does that help the country? It doesn't. I like Alex Cummings as well, but there's no history of Alex Cummings standing up to corruption. So let's go to the fourth characteristic of Councillor Gonglo. Councillor Gonglo has a strength in the rule of law. We can see from so many instances. I'll give you one. When he worked at as president, when he was president for the Liberia National Bar Association, we had a lot of quack lawyers in the system. We had a broken National Bar Association. Councillor Gonglo changed all that. He made that body independent when he took it from the 16,000 United States dollars that he made in the coffers to the 134,000 United States dollars that he left in the coffers. In addition, he made them a lot more independent by preventing them from remaining in the Old National Library, which is a government property, to owning their own building. He started the building. He spent $125,000 on the land and the foundation. So pretty soon, the Liberia National Bar Association will own their own building. So the other thing about Councillor Gonglo is he's able to, he's like a one-man peacekeeper because he believes in the rule of law. If some of the things that he does are tangible, you will see that they will add up, because it's because of his belief in the rule of law that certain protests never became chaotic. He always intervened to calm it. So as we go along, I'll be able to expand on some of these.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. So we're about to go around the table again. Then we will open the floor up to those following. We have a lot of questions in the comment section, and we have people who love to call in as well. Jeremiah, want to say something quick?
Yeah, I want to say something to the CM brother, Mr. Tati. Mr. Tati, you said something about Ambassador Boyka's stance on corruption. I think you said you
keep that for the rebuttal? Okay, keep that.
No, I want to say it now. It doesn't have to be rebutted, just a mere statement.
Go ahead.
And you said that you can't count on anyone who has ever stood up for corruption besides Councillor Gonglo, who is a good man. But I beg to differ with you, because your stance on corruption by not being corrupt is also a stance on corruption, because it means that you're standing up for something. So you don't have to come and publicize and do something, because you don't have all the information on Ambassador Boyka. But him not being corrupt is a stance on corruption. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Chia. So as I stated, it will be a little hot. So we would just go around the table again. We would go straight to the rebuttal. I want to give them another opportunity to expound more on security, the economy, the health, and education, because that's why people following want to listen to. A lot of people stay sending me messages. We hear something on security. We hear on the economy. How the people going to raise our economy? How our money going to grow in our bank? They didn't talk about health, how the hospitals can be better. Each of the candidates are coming. And education, how can we revamp our education system? So we will go back around the table again, but this time around we'll be going for rebuttal. Jan will have the chance for his rebuttal according to what he listened to. Jeremiah Chia will have to do same. Mr. Joshua Kepa will have to do same from what he listened to. So if you're just following us here, we are on the Logan Hour. We want to thank you for joining us today. Thanks to everyone who joined Logan's Hour, and we are in conversation with Mr. Tati, Mr. Volule, Mr. Chie, and Mr. Powell. So we will be right back. And when we come back, we're going to go straight to rebuttal. Thank you for joining Logan's Hour. And thanks for being here.
In at tunedbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming for your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. Why you no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you're running somewhere.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town, they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all the time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now, Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime.
All right, just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. Go to YouTube and subscribe to Logan Hour. So those of you who just joined, or if you don't know, today is the birthday of our dear friend and brother, Mr. Jan Volule. Today, Mr. Jan Volule turned 1. And you see him there with his wife, chilling. And we want to say congratulations again to our dear sister, Makadi, the Logan Hour princess. We'll add another degree to her again. My job bounce on her again. Mama already shot it to go land boy again. We did Joe in your hand to do. So y'all please press some love on my princess, the Logan Hour princess. Graduated the other day, to Makati. So when we come back, we will be going to Mr. Jan Volule because he started. So we'll be going to Mr. Jan Volule. He will take 3 minutes for his rebuttal. 3 minutes, Mr. Jan Volule will be giving us his views on other panelists here, what is stated, and he will be rejecting some of the things they say. If you want to agree to some of them, ranging from the security, we talk about security already, and we talk about the economy, we talk about health, we talk about education. You listen to all your fellow panelists expounding on health, on security, and then we will also, that will be followed by Mr. Tati, since we started with Jan Volule the first time. That will followed by Mr. Tati. Then we'll go to Mr. Joshua Power, then we'll go to Mr. Chie. So, Mr. Volule, your 3 minutes for your rebuttal start.
All right, Mr. Senior Man, Mr. Tati, I just want to say, something in criminal justice called aiding and abetting, right? So you are criminal whenever you see a criminal doing something and you didn't say nothing about it. You are criminal as much as to whatever they steal, right? Mm-hmm. So for you to say Mr. Waka is not corrupt, that mindset we got to get out of that mindset in Liberia. Mr. Waka in fact, he's the worst corrupt person in the country. For 42 more years, he been in government. He has seen corrupt leaders in the country, and he has not stand up against them to save things towards corruption. He's the worst person because why? He empowered those people to be more corrupt. So for people to come on every time and say Mr. Waka is not corrupt, it hurt my head sometimes when I hear that. because Mr. Baka sat there as head of contract in the country as vice president for 12 years. He saw all those bogus concessions being signed by the Senate. He saw Eddie children looting our country. And Eddie herself admitted to those things. Yet, Mr. Baka did not say fuen, or he did not resign to say, oh, this is enough for the country. The country is going down the gutter. This is not what I signed up for. I'm leaving to stand up to this. So Mr. Baka is the one that been encouraging corruption in the country since his time in government. So when that us get out of that mindset that Mr. Baka is not corrupt, Mr. Power, George Weah is a visionary leader of the country. You talk about education, he's making colleges free. Someone without a vision will just jump in the middle of things because why? He heard people saying about it. He don't know the root cause of what people are talking about. He will just jump in the middle. If you making college free, what become of the foundation? Will you leave the horse foundation and jump in the middle and build it from the middle or from window level? So Mr. Weah strategist is a failed strategist for our country. In order for our education system to be more solid, we have to start from the bottom, which is the elementary level. He should have make all elementary school free and more and equip the whole elementary school system to be more solid. Then now we can look up to the college level.
All right, Mr. Yan, follow that. Your 3 minutes and then. Okay, so somebody got something playing in the back. Mr. Chia, can you hear me? Mr. Jeremiah Chia, can you hear me?
Hello?
All right, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
You can hear me?
I'm hearing you.
But I can't hear you.
Oh, then go off and come back. Go on and come back. Just log on and log by, Mr. Chia.
Philip, I can't hear you.
Oh my God. All right, so we will come back to Mr. Chia. Mr. Chia cannot hear, or he having a little technical problem there. So let's go to Mr. Joshua K. Powell for a 3 minutes rebuttal. Mr. Chia? Mr. Chia. Oh, sorry, Mr. Powell. Let me unmute you. All right, go ahead.
You know, I would have loved for Jeremiah to, speak before me, because the guys they will rebut themselves. They will argue among themselves, which is a normal thing. That is why they will not be voted for, because they are not trusted. We have tested them and they failed the Liberian people. I have a very soft spot for Gonglo, so I will let the old man slide. I would love to encounter him on another platform on different topic. So I'll let the old man slide. But the two young men here is a disappointment. It's a big disappointment that these educated young men will be talking about wanting to unseat a generational changer. Josh Weah, who have shown us development. These young men will be here and be talking about want to unseat tangible development. It's a disappointment. But you see, no, you are muted. We can hear you.
Okay, Jeremiah, you are muted.
Unmute yourself, Jerry.
Unmute yourself, Jerry.
Yeah, but Philip, try.
Go ahead, Joshua. Jeremiah, unmute yourself.
So, I wanted to be rebutting Jeremiah and there is no need, because they will rebut on my behalf, because all of what they are spitting out here, they are all lies.
Jeremiah, can you hear us now?
Jeremiah, Jeremiah,
I would love for Jeremiah to hear.
Go ahead. He listening to you in the background.
Jeremiah, you can hear me? Okay, Jeremiah can hear me.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Jeremiah, unmute yourself so we can see if we hear you.
No, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Increase your volume. Increase your
We
volume.
can hear you.
I can hear you now.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
we're
hear
hearing
you
you now. Go ahead, Mr. Powell.
You know, but for it, so I will ask that my time, you know.
Yeah, I'll put your 1 minute back. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, like I was saying before Jeremiah went off, you know, I will appreciate if you guys rebut yourself because you got nothing to show, you got nothing to prove. Jeremiah want to defend a man who spent 40 years in government and say and he admit that they stole money, he admit that they misused opportunity. Joshua is sending young people to school abroad to be specific in medicine. That when they come back, they will save our health facility. Security, right now, we got people on different military bases learning about security. Joshua came to a country as if it was Southern Sudan, a new country, starting all over. A 200 years old country, and in 5 years' time, we are putting here, putting here and there. Liberia, the oldest African country, does not have over 5,000 military, including watchmen, fire service, immigration, and policemen, everything. We do not have it. This man is sending young people across the globe now to come back. Joshua is building Liberia from the beginning. That is my argument. So when these people come here to say, I did not hear anything that Yan say how Kumi would do it. Jeremiah did not say how Baka would do it. They didn't say anything yet. You know, Mr. Tati have not said he wouldn't say about Gonglo character. How will Gonglo implement this character is a reality? That's what I want to hear. Gonglo working all the government. What is the change? You think when you get there after you work for many years, you get there and say, "Oh, I don't work again."
All right, that's your time.
What did you do?
We
Let
will
this
come
man
back to
tell
you.
us what the Canada would do and how they would do it. I don't just say Kumi would do it, Baka would do it. How? That's what the people want to hear. Joshua is doing it tangible.
We'll come back to you, Mr. Powell. So let's go to Mr. Tati. Mr. Tati, 3 minutes for your rebuttal, sir. Let me unmute you. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, first of all, most of what I have to rebut is with Mr. Powell. Unfortunately, Mr. Powell, I don't have anything against you. Unfortunately, you represent the incumbent that has us in the position we're in. And so for so many reasons, we have to unseat you. So, but just before I go to you, Mr. Powell, let me just say to my brother Jeremiah that I'm not saying that not being corrupt isn't a good thing. It is a good thing, but it doesn't help the country. You have to go beyond. You have to stop the other people from around you from being corrupt if you have the power to do so. That's the point I was making. Now, let me come to you, Mr. Paul. I know you talk about the good things George Weah is doing. What makes it hard to see is the fact that he does it in the reverse. It's a good thing to pay the students YS school fee, but you don't send the students to school at all. You don't help them buy uniform. You don't help them pay tuition throughout the year. You don't know how they get to senior class, and then all of a sudden you say that's what you're going to help with. That's helping them in the reverse. Then you go to the university. You talk about free tuition. He goes to the and offer the college students free tuition, even though he's not keeping up with the payment, but at least he offer free tuition. How do the young folks get to college? They can't. because they don't have the means. You've taken all the aid from them. Now, what Councillor Gongo is going to do is the way it should be done from the foundation up. He's going to offer free tuition to students from kindergarten straight through 12th grade. And then if you want to pay somebody's school fees in 12th grade, it makes sense because these students will not be struggling. They will be learning. The parents will be looking for tuition. They won't be missing school. Even if they don't go to school, the parents will have to answer why, because tuition is free. Everything else associated with tuition is free, whether it's uniform, books, pencils, copybook, everything is free for them. And the money is there to do it, just that you guys lost it all money. 16 billion lost, 25 million lost, another 25 million lost, 30 million COVID money lost. You lost all the money, so there's no money to do the things you're supposed to do. And then you talk about the healthcare. You praise the healthcare, but it's also in the reverse because look, you put Babulu over there before you put a road. Now look at that decent hospital, that top of the line hospital that you built in Babulu. But who gets there? You can't even get doctors. Even if you offer very good salaries, you can't get doctors to go there because there's nowhere there for them to even live. There's nowhere to go there. Even the ambassador who saw that that building was put up, he had to take helicopter to get there. Wait, tell me how many doctors would take helicopter to get to work? How many patients would take helicopter to go to work? Look at the population density in the area where you put the hospital. How many people are going to get there? You jump over JFK. JFK, you didn't equip JFK. People still go across the road to buy gauze and injection. So we has intention of doing good things, but he does it in a reverse. In other words, he wants to take shortcut to get to the end. That way, you have more money to accrue in his pocket. And then you talk about security. He made it easy for himself by saying, okay, everybody buy a CCTV. So you'll be your own security. But that's not, if you understand the work of the president, he's supposed to be protecting the citizens. So how do you take care of security? Councillor Gongo has a way of giving back. A lot of people will steal and go build pumps and wells and schools, all there to show what they're doing. Councillor Gongo doesn't do that because he doesn't have the money to do it. The way he gives back, it will help security. He goes to the police academy and he offers free classes there so people learn what they're supposed to do when it comes to the law for the police to be well equipped. He also goes and calms all these situations down that could turn chaotic when our limited police force arrest somebody and people start to protest. If that number grows, they will overpower the police. That could be turned up to be very chaotic. People don't see what Councillor Gongo does by calming those situations, freeing those people and representing them in court, even if they don't have money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tati. So let's go to Mr. Jeremiah Chia. Mr. Jeremiah Chia, go ahead with your 3 minutes rebuttal. Oh, sorry. I think you are muted. All right, go ahead, sir.
I think people are eager to know what our candidate would do when he becomes president. It's simple. He has been tried and tested. When the vice president becomes president of the Republic of Liberia, one of the first key things he would do, he will put a tap on corruption. 1. 2, there are laws on the book that are not implemented fully. Those are laws. Liberia has strong laws, very good laws. And he will make sure that every Liberian will be held accountable for what they do fiscally, because your fiscal policy has to be strong to attract investment in your country. He will put a tap on that. He will work with the professionals to ensure that our country money won't just be spent on like abstract things like you feel like you should buy this cologne or this sneakers because of, and we know these are menial things, but the president is going to focus mainly on the Liberian people instead of himself. On the contrary, what we have now, the president is focusing on himself and his surrogates. And number 2, on the issue of security, the laws in Liberia on security are very stringent. They are very strong, but it lacks implementation. The rule of law are there. But wherein you'll be in a country where when something goes on, somebody takes a telephone and calls one big man and he tells you, let that man go. That's weakening the law. The judicial system, people will get murdered, people will get kidnapped, people will get raped, and nothing comes out of it. We are going to curtail these things. We are going to make sure things will be put in place that people will be held accountable for the wrongdoings. That's how you spell out 40 years experience. You don't have 40 years experience for people, for young boys like me, Jeremiah Chi, because I'm defending Ambassador Boyka means that as soon as he becomes president, I get a job. No, that's not it. I will be thoroughly vetted and thoroughly going through the rank and file processes if I need a job there. So we are not saying these things because we need to get back and get into government sectors, but we know because we've been there. And on the issue of the economy, you and I know that where we stand now, CDC thinks that everything the government does, President Weah does, he puts a name on it. So they feel like it's him, but it's the government. And all the roads they're talking about building, those were blueprints that he picked up from President Sirleaf. You understand me? Those were things that were already on the books. He had to choose what he wants to implement, substandard roads and substandard things. We have one of the biggest counties in Liberia with the road implementation project. If you're opposition, you don't have that mantra to do anything in the country. So when we hear Joshua, I know why Joshua speak the way he speak. Joshua speak the way he speak because he has ambition. And I can understand the brother's political ambition. He wants to run in district number 3C in Grand Bassa County. So perhaps maybe talking for CDC the way he talks can lend him that availability.
I want to
not
break
saying
news.
that. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. We are going to everything that people do for people, they are going to be merited. That's why you see most of the latches is going on Joshua on the panel here because the opposition, we know we divided, but at the end of the day, if Gonglo becomes president or if Cummings becomes president, it's the better Liberia other than what we have now. That's what we're saying. I don't have any problem with any of the other candidates. The only thing I know, and I know fully well, is time. Everything is time. The first thing, if you have foreigners overtaking you in your own economy and you told us that we will not be spectators in our own economy, it's a problem. That's a big problem. And we need to mitigate these things. We need to solve these things. And that's why Ambassador Boyka will bring the expertise with all those who work in corporate America and locally trained professionals will join hands in making sure that our country get back on the right trajectory.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chia. So that's the voice of Mr. Jeremiah Chia. So
I want you to get 30 seconds.
We will be going back around the table again because what I see here from the rebuttal is like people want to do counter rebuttal. So we're going to do counter rebuttal here. So we will start different way this time around. So we will start from Mr. Tati, because Mr. Tati here always been there. So we're going to start from Mr. Tati here with a counter rebuttal from what have been coming from the initial rebuttal here. So Mr. Tati will have 3 minutes with his counter rebuttal. And after this counter rebuttal, we're going to open the lines for people to participate and have their input into this program. Mr. Tati, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. So yeah, talking about where we are today, in terms of everything that should be done, we didn't. I know it's tough for Mr. Powell to defend because there's nothing intact. Now, you're talking about development.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do development. All your developments that you talk about, the roads. I'll give you a typical example of some of the reverse I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Councillor Gonglo just came back from Lofa County. And I'll tell you exactly how he described Lofa County to me. He said, there are a lot of development going on in Lofa County. There's roads, there's street lights, there's lights in some places. In fact, he saw a compound, a blue compound. I think about 14 houses, big houses in the compound. Mm-hmm. Well, air conditioned and everything, well lit, but nobody lives in them. But the problem is getting to Lofa. All that beauty they put in Lofa, getting to Lofa is the problem. So he described it as somebody being in an upstairs house and there's no stairs to get upstairs, even though everything they need is upstairs, but there's no stairs to get upstairs. So that's why I'm telling you, President Weah is doing things in reverse order. That's why he's not accomplishing any tangible results. He built rules. There's we're supposed to be benefiting from rules. They got farm to market rules. They got rules that will enable agriculture, but you just build rules and not even enough rules because the money you're supposed to use to build rules, you lost it. I can tell you all our money that you lost. You lost 16 billion from us. That's about 100 million United States dollars. You lost 25 million. You lost the 30 million they gave you for the COVID. You lost the 4.4 million road funds money. You lost the 25 million road fund money again. You can't account for Nima County 7.5 million. You can't account for bombing 5 million. All the monies, if you put it together, it can do a lot for our system. That's why Councilor Gongo is not hesitant that he can provide education free of charge, because all the money that are getting missing will not get missing. Then apart from the monies that are getting missing, you misappropriating the one that don't get missing. First of all, you give out 202 houses free in Grand Cru. Which government does that? Because you can't provide jobs for the people to be able to build their own houses or pay their rent. So you got to go around giving free houses. 202 houses in Grand Cru, 50 houses at Invincible Park. You take 30,000 now, you divide it with lawmakers, each lawmaker. So you put all 103 lawmakers together. That's about over $100 million, or a million and so more dollars you're losing. Then you got government spending money on things that they're not supposed to spend on. So the money is in the country, more or less. All the money we're looking for is in the country. We don't have to be begging for money, waiting for aid to come before we can bring development in terms of school and healthcare. Councilor Gonga has told you when he becomes president, and I'm saying when, not if, because we know the path. We're definite of winning. We're very sure of winning. So when he becomes president, he's not going to go outside of the country to seek medical attention. He's going to go not only to JFK or the 40 military, he's going to go everywhere. Every month, he's going to go somewhere for some kind of checkup or something, just to check on those hospitals. So if the hospitals are not good enough for him, when he gets there, it means that it's not good for any citizen in the country. So we're going to take care of healthcare.
30 seconds. So you got a lot of concessions that agreements that you're signing. First of all, you don't read those things, so you sign them wrong. Then when the people supposed to do social services, they don't even provide the social services, and you don't go after them. And then you want to be signing a new agreement for another 9 years, 16 years, and the people still got 9 years to complete the first agreement. All right.
For which they are not complying.
Thank you so much. So that was 5 minutes. So we will give each panelist the same length of time, 5 minutes each. So we will go over to our brother J. Joshua K. Power Sr. You can have 5 minutes for your counter rebuttal.
Thank you very much. You know, the unfortunate thing is, I have a soft spot for Gongo, and after Georgia's second term,
You know he's a
I am going to join you to campaign for Gongo. Gongo is a very good man. You know, I have interacted with him. I listened to what he want to do for Liberia. So I'm not going to do you the way I'll do you two gentlemen, because Gongo is not part of the CPP. They fail, and I don't know what attitude to use on them. Greedy politician who could not stay together for 6 months, and they'll be suing each other and gossiping on each other and lying on each other. And Bwaka could not be a leader for a minute. Under Bwaka leadership, the CPB split it. You may mention that Gongo went to Lofa and he told you that development is going on in Lofa, but there's no road. It's a fair argument. Bouacar will be 12 years vice president, could not advocate for the only place that he called his base. And road cannot go there. All the frustration, Ellen will carry George Weah and say, my son cannot break ground for the people here because their own son cannot talk for them. Currently, the road construction is going on in Lofa County. So Gongo made a very good point. That's true. Because their son, Bouacar, 12 years could not advocate for the people. But in few days, yesterday, the Liberian people who know development, who have seen development in 5 years, minus 95 years, they came outside to appreciate George Weah. On the contrary, that people said the field will be empty, nobody will come outside and everything that they were seeing. But because we are seeing 5 years, tangible development all around the world, tangible development, the people came outside to appreciate and wanting more. So it is a clear manifestation that this government, there are lapses. There are lapses. But the good surpass the evil. Tangible development surpass promises. We know how many money came in our country. We know how people confess that, yes, we miss opportunity. But with the minimum resources, there's no more economic 5,000 men left the country. There is no outside help. But yet, the little that is coming in from our own resources, Sevekos Basiga in Grand Bassa County, Bikano, will be making money for this government. At the port, that port that nobody knew. So development is coming. We already got some. We are building onto it. In the next 6 years, things that you are not seeing for 95 years, you will begin to point to them. You may mention that Gongo said you saw beautiful things happen in the streetless and everything. More of those are coming. We are making contact with oracles to supply the whole region to Yan County. In Yan County, 24-hour current will be there. Right now in Maryland, the people enjoying 24-hour current. They're driving on good road from Plebo Street to Fishtown. Right now in Maryland, they are building a refinery like EPRC under this government. My brother Jeremiah talking about blueprint. Do you know who started the SKD? He did not do better SKD. He did not do start it. Who need on it? I don't need on it because somebody started it. They didn't finish it. Don't finish it. Put a name on it. We call it SKD today. Blueprint is not tangible. It's just a roadmap. The man who come to complete the blueprint is the one we're looking up to. Do you know how many blueprints that brother? Do you know that there's a blueprint from beyond Stephen Tower to go all the way? That is not Stephen Tower. I just forgot the Banafé Junction to go all the way on Crown Hill. You know there's a blueprint there. It was never completed. Nobody know about that road until you complete it. It's called tangible development. So, gentlemen, like I would tell Mr. Tati, I'll campaign with you. 2029.
You got 10 more seconds.
I'll campaign with you. But these gentlemen, they got no future for Liberia. Especially Bouacar. I can manage with Kumi. Bouacar, I just saw one picture of the video. The poor Bouacar in the corner. Bouacar is a grandfather. Remember, let respect the statement. Let them be tired with honor. Bouacar got nothing to give the Liberian people.
Mr. Powell, thank you so much for that. All right, so let's go to Mr. Yan Folule. Mr. Folule, you have your 5 minutes starting now.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Tati, you said he lose. He said George Weah lose money. The war, I don't think he's using the right terminology for this man. The man looted our money. He looted what belonged to the Liberian people. He looted it. He looked at the 25 million, the 16 billion, the 10 billion, the 11 million, all those things. He looted all. And he not just started there, he went into the consolidated account. He put his hand into where his hand not supposed to go. And they call it D-hole, cover hole. That's the kind of leader we get. That's the kind of leader that is begging us for us to give him second chance. What good will it be when you build a hospital and you don't trust in the hospital that you build? But yet, when you're sick, you travel abroad for better treatment. It's in the country that you go into for treatment. It's in the just what makes that hospital better than the one you build? So, Mr. Power, when we talking here, you people helping those failed politicians in the country to keep marginalizing the ordinary Liberians. Because if you can sit here, you that have traveled, you're sitting honor, lawmakers that, things that lawmakers have done, things that leaders have done. You benefiting from it. You cannot suffer. When you do things, it comes to you. What belongs to you, it belongs to you. No, you're not there to fight anybody for it. And you can sit here and talk for people like Black Eye, for people like George Weah today, who is looting the country. It's a shame. It's a shame to see my elderly brother, senior brother, who's supposed to be putting me to check when I'm saying some things and to advocate for things that he, that he know that is wrong. It's wrong. He advocating for him. Look, let me go to economists. How Kumi is going to build the economy, or how Kumi is going to, improve the economy? First of all, in order as an economist, as an economist, this man know how to improve what we call economists. This man will privatize first thing electricity. In order for he will privatize electricity, because if it stay under the government, we'll continue to encounter what we're encountering right now. You see that? So if we get stable electricity in the country, like we have in this country, we will have businesses running 24/7 in that country, and people will not small businesses will continue to generate money that will put food on their table and send their children to schools. This man will make our security sector independent, not partisan security. He will make our security sector independent, because he has operated businesses in other communities where securities are independent, and because of that, businesses are secure. People are free to move around and do things freely. It's not in the case of Liberia under the George Weah regime or on a past regime.
All right.
So when we talking, my 5 minutes now over here, my brother.
Yeah, you still got 2 more minutes.
Oh yes. Oh, so if we're talking about education, this man knows the importance of education. He's a vision. He's a man with vision. He's a leader with vision. The man, that's why he first created the science and technologies and mathematics schools in Liberia. So if we're talking about economists, is that the Mr. Powell? Can you call that or development when something that is meant for me, $500 is meant for me, and you take $2 from there, you use it on me, and the rest of it you put it in your pocket? Is that why you call it love of a country? You came in as leader for you to investigate all those past Booker's concession that were passed when he was senator in that place. He assessed signature on some of those concessions. He voted for some of it. How will he even investigate some of those things? But when his hand is in a cookie jar, he came in. He said he took over a broke country.
10 seconds.
Eddie came up and said she left more than 150 million in our account. But George Weah came in on 6 months. He built duplexes for himself, and the house that he was living in on 9th Street that he could not renovate, he renovated to bulletproof.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yamfolule. Thank you so much for your input. So let's go to the Unity Party, represented by Mr. Jeremiah Cheer. Mr. Cheer, your 5 minutes start.
Well, I'm happy that President Weah pillaged the economy and made sure he built his 42 condominiums on the Baptist Seminary Highway. Those buildings will be used by our government to ensure that it will either be some of the ministries so we can start paying rent in our country as government ministries and agencies. What the people fail to understand is that everybody wants to beat on Ambassador Barker for his age or being old or being in service for so long. But we need to understand that we need our elders with us. The reason why you see I'm not kind of attacking any member of the opposition here tonight, because it's not their fault. The opposition here has everything to do with this country in the transformational stages of our country when we shall take over. These people, I understand the zest. Everybody wants to become president now. But I can tell you, Vice President Boyka, Mr. Cummings, and Mr. Gonglo will touch that seat before eternity comes to end. Because I'm so happy that these people have already projected themselves as the next leaders of our country. And that we are sure of that once this guy leaves this place, there are people who will take over this thing and transform our country to what it should be. Because we all know that our people, what they go through there is not the same as what we go through here. So we can't be here spewing things that we know that is not functional back home, and we just want to pretend like all is well. The people in studio know fully well that we're not against each other. But even the president, we are men, we are not against it. We are only telling him, look, we know 2005, you use your stardom, your soccer skills to enthuse people. We know that 2005, you probably won the election. We know that 2011, you didn't win that election because you weren't the one heading the ticket. We know that 2017, you've been to this election thing 3 times. You won it technically 2 times. Besides 2005, 2011, that you didn't get it. But it's like this deal was supposed to come to an end by giving you this thing. So let's see, let the trouble move from our head. Let's see what he does with it. Now they gave you the thing. In a space of 6 years, you make everybody run out of the country. You make everybody just scared. Liberians that we know, Liberians are not scared people. We are friendly people. We are good people. But everybody just scared. Everybody are hungry. When you see 1 or 2 people, you go down December, you see people celebrating. It's just for that periodic time, just because of that period. We need leaders who will care for the people. That's why we say vote the Unity Party. It's not because Unity Party came into existence a long time ago. We understand that. They were in power for 12 years. We understand that. But what did they do in power? There were some lapses that they did in power. But we are not dwelling on that because the head of the ticket this time is a strictly disciplinarian. And he don't, that's why I always tell people, Ambassador Burger will not sit there because you're a loudmouth, because you say a lot of things, because you want to be in people's business, or you want to do other things, then you have him to concede to whatever thing you bring on the table. That's not going to happen under the leadership of Ambassador Burger. And what I want my panelists to know tonight, Ambassador Burger is in consultation with Councilor Gonglo and Mr. Cummings. These things don't come to fruition so early. But we know as opposition people that at the end of the day, the consensus will be built. And you see why my brother from the CDC is leaning the side of Councilor Gonglo, because he knows the character at stake. He knows. But that man will never, I'm not supporting him at this election, but he will never mortgage his character to lend support to the CDC, to a CDC-led government. He will never do that. He will look around the opposition and will form an alliance. It might not be at the first ballot, but it will come subsequently when we shall have obtained permission to go to the second round. Now, on the issue of the economy, if you sit in America and tell me that like Liberian economy is on track, then I'm sorry for your state of thought, because you know fully well it's not functional. People who say their state security makes $150 US dollars to protect a whole country per month. Is that something that we want to continue? No. You have to set a standard. Make the government attractive so that professionals will learn in. You have our airport there.
Oh yeah, image. Go ahead, Jeremiah. The image frozen.
Flies go,
Whoa.
you call it machine
Okay.
off. So is that the kind of country we want? We don't need that. We don't need all those things. That's why we say vote for coalition that will come to power. Today they signed a Booker's arrangement on the auspices of the vice president. And they just wanted power. They just want to solidify power. They don't do things the right way. That's the problem with Liberian people. So I'm telling you, vote your conscience. Come 2023. Vote your family members there. They know the pinch they are feeling. You know the cost you receive here on a daily basis. Vote a person who will ensure that your daughters won't get raped. It's a new normal in Liberia now. It's constantly ongoing now. No prosecution, no voice for the poor. Everybody just got to be partisan. It doesn't work that way. We understand that CDC is a court. We know. You join CDC today, you got to conform to the status of CDC. So I'm surprised that now we don't have a president who addresses the country on national issue, but waits for Sunday to throw jibes. Is that the country we want? No, we don't want that.
Thank
So
you
we
so
are
much,
saying
Mr.
that, please.
Pierre.
We are
Thank
saying
you.
that, please, vote your conscience. We're a united opposition. That's what I'm
Thank
saying.
you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chia. So while we are following this program, I want us to keep the people of Turkey and Syria in their prayer. The New York Times reporting that currently 7,700 people have been dead from the earthquake. Just from Turkey alone, 5,800 people they are dead, and from Syria we have 1,800 people who is already dead from the earthquake. So keep them in your prayers. So now we're gonna go to the phone lines. We're gonna go to the phone lines and take calls. It's gonna be 2 minutes per caller. Absolutely 2 minutes per caller because I saw my line band back here. A lot of people been hitting me up, so I've been telling them that we will open the line for the phone call. So I have the first call coming in here, and I will. Yeah, who's this caller? And hello, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Alexander.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Weir.
Okay. Yeah, my concern here is all of these things that the people on the show are talking. I will first start with the ruling party. When you are pinpointing certain things, you talk about road building. I don't know what are the roads. You live in a modern country. You know what they call a road. And you know the difference between a road, a street, and an alley. If you want to pinpoint Somalia Drive is not Georgia government project. Rawafi Road that he said he claiming to be the one undertaking that. Look at the condition of that road today. In fact, the company has informed the Public Works Ministry that they are lacking the capability to construct that road. You see the condition that is in, and you sitting over there saying, Georgia is building road, is building road. Southeast, what are the roads you can identify there? Sando, the Grand Crew, what are the roads that you can identify there? When they cut off during the rainy season, and you sitting over there defending Grand Bassa County, River Set. I don't know which one of those fish now or wherever you come from. What a road that you can identify there that Georgia government put there? If any government had not put the roads over there, which road that were built over there that you can identify? I haven't been in America for 30 years, so don't tell me say you in America you don't know. I know exactly what is going on there. I've been there. Let me come to my Kennedy. Gonglo. Integrity is his man, is what a man live by. And it is not only integrity, but he does what he says and he says what he does. This is the man that transformed the legal system, the justice system of that country. He was the cause for which the Liberia hosted the first World Global Councilor Conference. Because of him, the Bar Association, the judicial system, even the local ones, the country attorney there, they were all some of them were high school drop off. Some of them they never went to the law school before, they never graduated from high school. It was Gonglo that transformed them. That if you are not a law school student, you cannot be, or a law school graduate, you cannot be a country attorney. When we talk about law enforcement, why when CDC people come here and try to defend anything about law? When you're driving in Monrovia, every car that they stop, or deputy or somebody sitting somewhere say, "Oh man, don't touch that man, let him go." Is that a rule of law? If the president get online and say, "Oh, everybody must buy closed circuit TV, buy your own CCTV," is the government providing security when people are dying and no investigation? If they pretend like they are investigating, it has no end. Is that security being provided? When you talk about somebody love their country, they see when you made a comment just now that, "Oh, coming got a country at heart." This John Weir is one of the person that they say had a country at heart, and look at the result. When you are the government, when you come to power and you have no plan, this is what happened. I support Gongo because Gongo got every sector of the society. There is a plan for it. Be it education, be it defense, military, or civil servant, every sector of the society, he has a plan how to transform it to the new Liberia. All of these people are making noise here. And maybe my time is over, but all of these people that are running today, what are their plans? How effective is it? I was in Bapudu the other day. They talk about modern hospital there. Modern hospital in the middle of the dark? When the people don't have gloves, how effective is it going to be? How can they help the people? You place a modern hospital in a place that the population is less than 5,000.
Thank you so much, Mr. Weir. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that was Mr. Weir. Hello, caller.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
All right, go ahead.
Am I live?
Yeah, you are live.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
And thank you for hosting the panelists for this very important discussion when it comes to the upcoming elections. I've been, including some comments. One of my strong recommendation to you is that maybe you should rehab this panelists and have them come back with the report card for each of the candidates.
We would do
and
that.
Let's compare the report cards, because as a young man in school in Liberia, every year, every period, we had a report card report, and we evaluated that. If you went to look for a job, you had to send your CV or your resume, and out of that, they interview you. So this is an interview process.
Yeah.
Let's look at those report cards and see who meets the criteria for having the right vision for our country.
Yeah.
And some of the panelists there, I know some of them young, like one of the panelists said he was born 1987, which means he's young. But most of the things that I said here are things that only reflect post-war. So before there was war, students sat the national exam, which is called the YA right now, for 6th grade, 9th, and 12th grade. And they didn't have to pay a penny for it. It was a requirement that before you went into junior high school, or before you went to high school, and before you graduated from high school, you had to sit a national exam. And that's what they call the YA. So this thing about, making the education, making the YA free, is something that I don't understand. Those things should be, it was always free for some of us who sat and took 6th grade national exams. So there are a lot of things that are at stake for Liberia when we talk about development. I will close on this.
Okay.
Without security, your economy is doomed. Without security, your healthcare provides security. If you don't have your healthcare system in place, people are insecure. Your criminal justice system is very important to the development, to the economic development of a country. We need to look at the report cards, and as the previous caller just said, the integrity comes with that report card. People have to have a vision for the country, and that's where we need to measure each of these candidates by.
Thank you
for the opportunity.
So,
let's do the report card.
Can you please call your name for the audience, please?
The name is Moses.
Okay, Moses. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right. So now the people they are calling for another one where all of the candidates where you will have to come with your candidate's report card, the work history, to see what they say they have been doing over the years and coming to 2023 before becoming president of Liberia. But like I said, we have these conversations since the election is getting closer. Go ahead, Miss caller. Oh, I got another caller. Hold on, Fatih. Let me answer the caller. Hello, go ahead.
How you doing, Chief?
Not bad, Chief. How are you?
Yeah, not the mic, bro.
All right, make a contribution.
Yeah, brother, I've never been following most of the candidate and whatnot, but I just want to speak on what Mr. Powell was saying. I don't know when the last time he was in Liberia.
Okay.
Brother, the other day in Liberia, I mean, I was talking to some of the guys in Liberia just a few days ago. And I said, look, if the CDC government can just do one thing for the Liberian people, it's the security issue, they can try to work on that. That would be very, very great. And when I see people in overseas talking about road connectivity road, I mean, I don't know what road they're talking about. I refer to Ralphie Highway. That's a death trap. Okay, some people say, "Oh, where the proof is in the road," and because people have not been going there, so they don't know when the guy started that road. They started that road almost 2 years ago, and I've been going there like twice a year now, and I just came from there. And the road is bad. I don't want to even be specific. Some of the hospitals that people have to buy their own fuel before they give you surgery. Because if I try to call name, maybe someone said, "Oh, because you got people connected with this thing to the feed with information." But I'm telling you, man, the government. I mean, like I said, I don't know what the government have to turn things around, but there's a lot going on that CDC government have failed the Liberian people. The airport. I passed through there yesterday. The new airport is breaking down. Like the lack of, like the people are not ready to even work for the country. So my thing is that I don't think I'm not too satisfied with the security of the health system. I mean, the health system is very bad. Security is bad. People are not taking pay on time. So when they got to talk about road connectivity, I don't know which road that they're talking about. I think the guy that called before me, you talk about the other people building over there, not roads. Substandard road. Most of them breaking down now. I don't know whether we are facing or LA facing them, but most of the roads talking about they're all potholes now.
Yeah.
Gotta be realistic, man. Let's be realistic, especially we that oversee it. When we're talking about development, let's be realistic when we are, trying to influence our people to vote back home. Let's be real about these things.
Thank you so much.
Let's be real. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Columbus Zina, for your contributions here today. So I have a call from the financial secretary of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Miss Fatima Famble. She's on the line. She's a strong supporter of Mr. Elizana Cummings. So you will hear it from herself. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Fatima Fambuler. I am in support of Mr. Alexander Cummings.
There you go. I just announced her.
So Mr. Cummings focuses on two areas. Not disregarding, the other areas, but education and health. Keep in mind, Mr. Cummings has a STEM school, science, technology, engineering, math school. These are things that we need to build a country. Technology, especially. Technology is here to stay. Other African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda, these people are utilizing technology to the fullest. Mr. Cummings is the best candidate that can utilize technology to build infrastructure, to build the economy, to build almost every sector. Technology can be part of it. So Mr. Cummings' record has shown that he cares for Liberia. He has contributed a whole lot to schools and and medical facilities. Check the records, is there. So, Mr. Gonglo, I respect Mr. Gonglo. I respect Mr. Mr. Boyka. I also respect Mr. Weah. But Liberia has to move forward.
Go ahead.
I mean, he has the vision.
Caller
He
number 2,
has
please hold
the
on.
best assets. He has the best assets. He has the people that will definitely work with him to transform that country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sis Fatima family. Caller number 2, come on.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you call from?
Hi. Hey, my name is. Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Levi One Day.
Okay.
Well, I just want to thank all the guys on the show tonight. I mean, all of them doing very well.
Okay.
The issue on the ground here is people don't understand politics in Liberia. People come to power like Mr. Weah, the way he came to power, because of popularity. And the Liberian people have so much hope that they felt that he was going to transform that country, but he has become a serious predicament for the Liberian people. A serious
Caller 2, hold on.
solidifying his position and getting people around him that
Caller number 2, please hold on. Caller number 2, please hold on.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead. Caller number 2, please hold on.
Yeah, I keep hearing myself. It's like somebody.
Yeah, somebody on the person that unplay mute yourself. You got 2 people on the line. You got using one phone for everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
So because of that, now he think that nobody can take me out of Liberia. He using the Liberian people resources to defend himself whatever way he think he can. But if opposition comes together, it will be a good idea. I'm not here to attack people of who they are and this and that. But what I believe is I support Councillor Gonglo, and because of the issue of integrity. This man have lived all his life in Liberia. He never left that country a day, only to the point that when he was beaten by Charles Taylor, and somehow the American people helped him to come to this country. They even asked him to seek asylum. He said, "No, I'll go back to my country." That's the love that he has for that country, and he has a platform. People talk about government and this and that. I've never seen platform. Joshua came to power without any platform. As I said earlier, that he came to power because of popularity. And the Liberian people felt that it was the Messiah. And now the Messiah has turned to the big devil now in Liberia.
The Messiah has turned to the big devil. Just wrap it up quick.
Yeah. So to summarize, Councillor has a platform. And I'll be making available these 10-point talking points to a lot of people in Indiana here so that they can really see that he has a vision for that country.
Yeah,
it's
but
not just
we will have another program again like this. We invite Mr. Tati again so we all can come by and recap on what we are saying here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mr. Logan, but I want to thank you. I hope I will appear one of these days on your show.
Let me
Thank
know.
you.
Let me know whenever any topic so
I will.
we can have that plan. Thank you so much, my dear brother. Caller number 2, go ahead. Your name and where you call from?
Hi, my name is Tutu McCarthy, and I'm calling from Indiana.
Okay, go ahead. Looking Hours Princess.
Good evening to everybody on the panel. I just wanted to give my insight on, over everything that I've heard. I just got off work, so I was listening on my way home. Yeah, made a statement as far as school. You understand? And the number one thing I can say, America's schooling They say the first 5 years of a child is the most crucial years of his life. When you start school in elementary, they start you automatically off with homework. They give you sight words where you are learning. You're learning the word cat, dog, and you're learning all these things, and they give you tests. So you come home with homework packets, and you do these packets, and you take it back to school on Friday. And they're teaching you how to write your name, and they're teaching you a whole lot of stuff, how to color coordinate and everything. Meaning the most precious time of a child's life is from the time they start school. By the time they reach high school, they have that full understanding, that concept, you understand, of learning, that joy of learning. So you cannot go and say, okay, you want to make education free in college. The most precious time to make education free is from kindergarten up to high school level. From high school, just like here, school is free until you get to college. You get to college, you either go on scholarship or your parents, your family, pays your way to go to college. But for the first 12 years of your life, school is free. You understand? And then as far as boycott and I feel like we all supported that idea. Me personally, I've supported Weah becoming president because why Weah is known as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. You understand? So by him becoming president was gonna open our countries. It was gonna open our country. You understand, to other investments to come in, which they did. When those investments came in, there was nothing accountable for it. The money was coming in, but where was the money going? The money was not coming to our people. The money was not being invested in Liberia. That money was coming into Liberia, and that money was taken out of the country. You understand? So our people were not. So and then with Ellen, okay, go back to Ellen. These were the same people. It goes back to the same thing. Money is coming in. Ellen didn't do anything for our country. Point blank period. And boycott, all of them, boycott was under Ellen. You understand? You can say no corruption. There was corruption. As the vice president, you understand? You have a say so. Anything that the president does, you have a say so. And that's why
So
Barack Obama, they
go
work
ahead.
in.
Caller 2, just hold on a little. Caller number 2, just hold on a little. Tutu, just try to land.
Because they were able to work together. Biden was able to educate Barack on where he was lacking. And Barack, as a black man in this country, you understand, to have, he solely dependent on his vice president. Barack depended on his vice president to lead him, to guide him. You understand? And which Biden did with full responsibility. You understand? So for Boycott to be the vice president for Ellen, and you say he's not up to corruption, he was part of the corruption, because as a person, like they say, you stand for something or you fall for anything. And that's exactly what he did. So now the people do not trust Boycott for the simple reason of everything that conspired with Ellen. You understand? Right. And thinking that Weah was going to come into power and help our country, it didn't do anything. If you ask me personally, our country needed change. And I feel we need to give Cummings a chance. You understand? Sometimes what happened before may not work next time. You have to give other people a chance to be able to show our country. You cannot hold our country on, okay, food. We understand our country has, where food is the number one problem. And this is what people are constantly keep using. The country is hungry. The country is hungry because those that are supposed to be feeding the country is taking that money elsewhere.
Thank you so much, Tutu Makati.
Sorry, I have a lot to, but I know my time is up.
Yeah, we'll have another caller too. Waiting for you.
It's a very passionate subject.
We'll have another show again. We'll have another show because from now to election, people have to be marketing their candidates. So we have more of these.
It just we need a change. We need a change, and it's the same thing with that's why Biden was so easy to get in there because people were tired, and when people are tired of something, they change and they fight for something else. And right now, the Liberian people, you say you want change, going back. Right now, if you vote for Boyka, if you vote for WIA, is setting the country back.
So you want Gongolo, right?
I want Cummings. That was the number one mistake Liberia did as a country was to vote Ellen in.
Okay. All right.
That was the great mistake Liberia ever did was to vote Ellen as the president.
Okay.
And
thank you so much, Logan, our princess. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Caller number 2, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Logan.
Good evening, sir.
This is Rufus Tati. Good evening to all your panelists.
Good evening.
Hey, Bush and rest of the phone, and everybody else, Jeremiah. Thank you guys for this liberation power. I know you are only happy this evening. Being surrounded by the coalition right now. I wish y'all coalition partners are on tonight.
Yeah, next time I will do, I'll bring a coalition partner. Because it's not fair.
Yeah, thank you. It's not fair.
It's not fair. And trust me, Mr. Tati, not to cut you up, but if CDC careful, CDC they will do all the other part of just kind of get out, just switch CDC all one round.
That's what we're going to do.
Let's bring somebody from Alex Comey. Let's bring somebody from Prince Johnson. Because NPP, that coalition people, that let it can help on their power up. But anyway, but
go ahead, Mr.
the
Tati.
deliberation was is okay. One thing I would want to advise our panelists on here tonight is, the abstract speaking is something good, but sometimes let us get a platform of these candidates if you want to defend them. You can only defend these people on their platform. I was, fortunate is some 2 weeks ago or a week ago to have been in the Congress company, and through my brother Bush there and other people, I traveled with him somewhere in Bon County and were there, for some time when he came from Lofa. Councilor Gongo, he's somebody who is trying to really get in touch with the people. And those are some of the things, I look at other candidates, especially comics, who have been in the game for almost 6-7 years now going. That touch, the touch with the people is something that I think that traction coming is not getting. And I always tell people, yes, Morea has a vote, but the people in the interior, you have to reach out to them. And the only way you can know the people's problem, you have to reach out to them. For example, Kanglo Gongo, he has this 10th count, vision for Liberia he has. But when I sat with him and after he explained all his vision to me and this and that, I took 4 out of it, for example, he talked about agriculture.
Yeah.
He wanted, sufficient food for the people. And my question to him was, how can this be done? And he told me, he said, Rufus, he said, since the military were established, he said, we are not being attacked from any outside force, but we pay these people their salary, we buy their uniform, we do everything for them. So I'm going to use the agriculture engineering department of the military to have 150 acres in every county planted with rice, and I'll provide the machines to do that. He said, we have 150 acres in every county, multiply 150 by 16. That rice production will be something that will help the country. Then for education, he said, look, from elementary to high school, free. Healthcare. He said, the infant mortality rate in our country. Why pregnant women can go to the hospital in this country free? I think it should be adequate healthcare should be free to women and children and to the elderly. He said anybody over the age of 65 should get free healthcare. And these are things that, it doesn't take rocket science to do it. If we were investing, for example, we're subsidizing rice importation, $11 million. If you use $11 million and just invest in the agriculture sector, And let's just say, just give it to the military, because sometimes government to control the big ministries it have. But you tell the engineering department, the agriculture department of the military, and say, hey, look, we gave you $5 million just to produce rice. I think that is possible. I think that can be done. So you don't have to be an expert to know that these things can be done. Right now, for some of us in our own way, where we're sponsoring kids, I believe in primary education as well. We're sponsoring kids in elementary schools.
And
somebody
following the person want to know. The person asking, which side are you laying currently?
Right now, I have spoken with Gongo. I have sat with him across the table. I have spoken with him. I see myself in Gongo. What I stand for and some of the things that I think that are achievable for our nation. Gongo will be the man to the different people. I think from where I stand right now, in my own political sojourn, I think I'm going to work along with the Gongo team, with the Gongo people, to see how best we can develop our country. And so Team Gongo is my way to go. So I just want to say, all of us here, opposition, all of these things, look, at the end of the day, there is no one way to win this election. We will all have to form a coalition. So to sit here and say, Baga is the West man, Comey is the West man, Gongo is the West man, we're wasting our time. The common denominator here, we all know, is the CDC. And at the end of the day, we'll be surprised for my brother now or Mr. Chair to come on and say, oh, you know what? I think Gongo is good, or Comey is good, or Baga is good. So let's tell the people what the candidates are capable of doing, what the candidate can do, and what you think the feasibility that your candidate will be able to deliver. Instead of us, criticizing one person, this person is corrupt or not corrupt, I think I go with the platform that Gongo have shown me so far, because nobody else have come over a platform. I mean, you got less than 8 months to election, and no platform flying yet. The same thing happened 7 years ago. CDC, no, I had no platform, nothing. I know Baga always say rose, rose, rose. But again, that's just can't be. How are we going to get these roads? How are the roads going to be built? These are things that we should be looking at. So, but again, this is a very healthy discussion, and I think as we, continue the discussion, we all will be educated, and we'll try to open our eyes and see how the opposition can come together to collaborate and make sure that we take our country back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So we have a breaking news. So the breaking news here is that the former president of the Liberian Association of Indiana and the representative of Sparrow in Bond County just endorsed Mr. Tiawanse Gongolo on the Logan's hours. So those of you following, keep looking for where Mr. Rufo Tati stands come 2023 election at 8:31 p.m. February 7, 2023. Mr. Gongolo was endorsed publicly. So we will go around the table now. We'll not be accepting any calls again because I know time is of essence. We'll go around the table and take our parting. But guys, I know it'll be rebuttals from calls that came in and whatever we want to address it, but we're going to give 5 minutes each to each of our panelists here to do their closing. So right now, when I get a CDC man to be the fire, you'll be the man by way. So that 3 opposition, I will let 2 opposition men leave. Because I can rest assure you when I take that man for only here for all y'all will be in. So I will just allow you to go one by one, then it make it count in. At least it'll be second to the last. So let's go around the table. Mr. Yanfolu, you want to close?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. We'll give you 5
Well,
minutes. I want to set the time.
I want to tell my co-panelists thanks tonight. Mr. Tati, it was a pleasure sharing the platform with you tonight. And I look forward to more conversation with you and learning more from you. Mr. Powell, I know citizens are living in delusion, and but it is a pleasure always being around you and talking to you and sharing the platform with you. Mr. Chair, you know, man, you're my own blood. All right. Well, I just want to tell the listener thank you for hanging there with us as well. Like what Mr. Tati just said, uh, the next time we'll be on here, we'll be talking about the pedals of our candidates, diving into things, talking about it one time and stuff, and that the message resonate. Mr. Logan, it's always a pleasure. The way forward for Liberia, the new Liberia, is Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. Edis Cummings will transform the country. The new Liberia we are looking for, Edis Cummings can put Liberia on that path. So if you are on the fence and also you are with CDCs, please make up your mind, join the Cummings team. Uh, I will tell you this, Mr. Joshua Power. My brother teaches at the George Weah Vocational Institute. Guess what he told me? He said, "Look, everybody that teach that work at that institute were paid. In fact, they were giving VIP ticket, and they were transported, and they were threatening their job that if they don't go to the stadium this gone Saturday, they will come and be fired." So these are the things forcing people to prove points, and the crowd you guys are putting out. You just want to say tomorrow because you will lose massively. You will dwell on the crowd behind you guys to say tomorrow, oh, you see, the people love us. Everywhere we were, the people were there with us. Why you say we didn't win? That's the same thing that happened that y'all wanted to do with Thomas Father. They're going senatorial election. That's the same thing y'all want to do. The crowd, that like people not be fooled by the crowd. Look, if crowd can make people win, or Robert said he would be senator today, or Vani Sherman would be president today, I will tell you the list go on in Liberia. So do not be fooled by the crowd. Don't be distracted. It's a distraction strategist. Please be focused. Focus on Edis Kumi for transformation. Thank you, Mr. Logan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jan Volule. So it was a pleasure having you here, and we look to always have you here. Thank you, my dear brother. So let's go to Mr. Bush Tati. Mr. Tati, you are
thank you again.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you again, Mr. Logan. So, in closing, let me tell everybody here, first of all, thank you to all of you on the panel. I appreciate sharing the panel with each of you, Jerry, Jeremiah, Jan Volule, Mr. Powell, and our dynamic host. So, and to my audience, to our audience, I want to say a big thank you for being here. So, I just want to appeal to everybody to forget about partisanship, forget about what you thought before, and put Liberia first. Anybody who wants to put Liberia first is going to vote of Councillor Tiawonse Gonglo, because we know that Councillor Gonglo has the characteristics that we need for the next president of Liberia. Whilst it's true that Vice President Boyka and Alexander Cummings could make good presidents, this might not be the time for them, because our country, like Councillor Gongo posted correctly, is in the ICU. I know Jeremiah said earlier that the country needs a rescue. The rescue would just be that ambulance team. We need a doctor as well who will go further than just rescuing Liberia. We need Councillor Gongo. The reason we need Councillor Gongo is because he's a transformational leader. And we didn't have the time for me to tell you today what makes him a transformational leader, because he's demonstrated transformational skills in most of his jobs that he's handled. But hopefully in the future, we'll be able to get to that.
It's true.
And the thing is, I know people think that corruption is the biggest problem Liberia has. I will tell you it's not. It's second to the rule of law. we lack the rule of law. That's what gives rise to corruption. Because there's no rule of law, people are corrupt with impunity. If we were to fix that, corruption will fall right in place. Because whilst some people believe that Liberians are systemically corrupt, that's not true. You put Liberians in other positions with NGOs or with jobs in America, they do fine. They're not corrupt. But take those same Liberians and put them in government jobs. The environment is tolerant to malfeasance. So those very people will change. They will become corrupt overnight. So I just want to admonish anybody who's very patriotic and has the heart in the right place for Liberia to vote Councillor Gonglo, because we need a transformational leader. We need somebody who has a grip on the rule of law and somebody with a level of integrity who is corruption free. And he's not only corruption free, but he's ready to stand up to corruption. He's done that in the past in several capacities. He's willing to do it again. And I have a news flash for my brother, Joshua Power. Joshua, news flash. I know you have a soft heart for Councillor Gongo, and you're going to join us in the campaign, but you promised 2029. The news flash is 2029. You'll be surprised there's going to be no campaigning, because by the time Councillor Gonglo has spent his first term, that office of the president will be so unattractive that there won't be any need for campaigning. Even Councillor Gonglo, he won't have to campaign for his second term, because people will be happy. People will see that Liberia has fallen right in line with countries like Rwanda, countries like Botswana, countries like Singapore. We will be right in line. So there will be no need for campaigning, because everybody will be telling Councillor Gonglo the same thing they told him when he was leaving the presidency of the Bar Association. Everybody was asking him, do another term. And he said the Constitution wouldn't allow him to do a second term. So that's why he had to leave. He believes in the rule of law. So, and one of the reasons why the office is going to be so unattractive when he gets out, is because everybody's business will be on the website, online. Your assets, you have to declare assets. He started with the president. So all your information there. So you can't really steal, because all your assets there, how much you make is there, your benefits there, and then there's lifestyle audit every 3 months. So there will be no room really for stealing, and people know Councillor Gongo's reputation precedes him. So people already know that if Councillor Gongo is there, they won't even try. And then in terms of security, the police will be happy, because now they will have power, because nobody can tell them what to do. Call them on the phone and say, give that person his driver's license. Councillor, if you try it, any government official tries it, they're going to lose their job under Councillor Gonglo. So there are so many reasons why people will be happy and the country will be on the right path. And all the mysterious deaths that Councillor Gonglo been representing people in, they will be solved, because Councillor Gonglo has been the one to represent everybody, and we still can get these investigations to end. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and look forward to future discussion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tati. So we look forward to future discussion as is regularly stated. Thank you, sir. All right. So we have the two tough talking here. Now it has reached a point where it's gonna be like Savannah Spilly and Jeremiah Chi. So we'll go to CDC because they're in power. We have to respect those in power. Always. Those that are in power, they have to be respected at all times, because we can't keep them for last. At the end of the day, people are going to be like, oh, whoa, why you didn't respect the people that are in power? So we'll get a CDC. Mr. Joshua K. Powell, let's get your closing.
let me say thank you very much. It was a very friendly discussion. In the midst of all of the argument, I think we all share one common goal. We all love Liberia, but we have different views and different policies on how we want to see Liberia tomorrow.
I think Mr. Tati still won't hear your closing, so go ahead.
Yeah. The guy, once
he won't hear your closing, so go ahead. Because if anybody fire at him, he still won't respond.
Once they make their point, they can still stay on, to hear the other closing.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
but again, I want to thank the gentleman for coming on the show. It was a good conversation. But let me remind you that CDC went against 16 political parties, and they won them. And the frustration is still there. In less than 3 months, these people will gather themselves and call a mass protest. They can't get over how Joshua turned the table around, especially Jeremiah group of people who were in power for 12 years, and they thought this thing it was just the formality. So we are not surprised of all of these talks and jobs and everything coming on the CDC. But let's underline the word tangible development. That is why the CDC is given to the Liberian people, something that they are not seeing in 95 years. If a gentleman will call and say that the roads are alley, then I'm not wasting my time to respond to you. Have you seen that alley before? My first time to see good road and 24-hour electricity was when I crossed Logan to go to Danali, a nearby village. Yeah, Logan nearby village, 24-hour current. 95 years, you never had that. And somebody gave you a starting point, and then you call it alley. That's been very ungrateful. Been very, very ungrateful. Something that you had never had before, and somebody give it. You just look there, you born nigga, somebody give you trust, you say, what happened to the share? But it's okay. We will deliver the Liberian people of what they have never had. Councillor Gongo is a good man. I have interviewed Councillor Gongo. I have talked to Mr. I like his platform. That's what I said. I will join you at another time. But it is always good for people to complete what they have started. So let Joshua end his turn. Let Joshua do the thing he said he would do for Liberian people. Build roads, focus on agriculture, work on the security sector. Let me just speak quickly on this. I didn't want to talk about CCTV something. But you see, the reason why many of you are talking about the CCTV, because Joe Biden said leader wars matter. Which part of the country that you are living, the most sophisticated country in the world, which part of the country that you don't have CCTV? People in their homes, they get camera. People to their business places, they get camera. Maybe the presentation and the timing was not good. Maybe the president spoke at the wrong occasion or did not present that comment well. But to encourage somebody to have CCTV, it's not a bad thing. Even the police, one time I went somewhere and somebody hit my car. When I came outside, the police asked the nearby store to view the camera. It's not government are paying for it. Government don't pay for it. When something happened in the neighborhood, the police depend on the neighborhood camera to see what happened. These are development. Our people, we are not used to development. So when somebody try to tell them the today's happening, it's strange to them. They made a Baka. How will you bring Baka in this technology war? What can Grandpa do in this technology war? A trained security officer, the Jeremiah, when want to be quoting security code, then call Baka and say, Alpha 2 3 something. But I don't know the code. But I don't know the code. The old man, he has lived good life. He has served Liberia. This is our time to give back to the old man, saying thank you, Papa. You done well. We want to listen to you now. This man don't have to be president. And I want to challenge the people at Gonglo because I was supporting one point in time. They should not collaborate with these failed politicians. Hey, I love the man Brunsky. Brunsky used to call these people failed politicians. Don't collaborate with them. They will corrupt you. Just how they spoil the CPP, they destroy the Liberian people, they frustrated them. Gonglo will not join them because he has an integrity to protect. I want to leave there with my young friend and brother, Jeremiah Chie. The Liberian people, your children, the generation depending on you, on the decision you will make. If you put Bwaka in that place, you're carrying Liberia 10 years backward. Because there is nothing new Bwaka bringing to the table. Vote for Joshua, tangible development. Thank you very much for bringing me on the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Powell. But you got to wait for the man to respond.
Go
ahead, Mr. Chie. You are muted.
Well, thank you to all our people following the show this evening. Thanks to the panelists, Mr. Tati, Mr. Powell, and Mr. Volule. I would like to say this in my closing. You see, oftentimes people forget where they've come from. And for my brother to prioritize the CCTV publication here tonight is like a drop in the ocean. People do these things for personal security. It's not holistically practiced, especially in a third world country like Liberia. If your president tells you, get you CCTV, just know you're on your own. It shouldn't be said. And the brother in studio mystifies me in a certain way because the same government he pleading for today embarrassed him 4 years ago. I was there. They took him down from his car he was riding. The same security people that he said train. They intimidated him, they humiliated him with his family. And had not been the intervention of a good citizen, he would have been or taken somewhere or his car vehicle being pounded or something. You understand me? So he come across things firsthand. So for you to sit down here and justify that the country is safe is another story for another day. On the issue of Councillor Gonglo, Councillor Gonglo has his own spectrum of how he sees the country. And that resonates with everyone within the opposition, even in the camp of Ambassador Bwaka and Cummings. Take it or leave it, they admire that and they admire him. But because of political season, people are playing the cards. You can't show all your hands. They are playing chess, not checkers. So when you hear people saying there will be no alignment, I mean, it's appalling because there will be alignment. Ambassador Bwaka will not sit there and allow this country to plunge through the ceiling without nothing being done on his watch. I admire Mr. Cummings. He's a upscale politician. He's transformed from a businessman to a politician. I've had several interactions with Mr. Cummings, both in America and in Liberia. I know the kind of person he is. He's a good man. He has what it takes to become a leader one day. But the issue people don't tend to understand is election has numerical values. There are numbers attached to elections. In order to win elections, you need the numbers. 2017, when I voted, we saw Mr. Cummings with the percentage of the overall percentage of 7%, which is not enough to attain the presidency of the country. But we saw that the youth were very exuberant and they were pulling towards his own candidature. And we admire that because there are several women. We talked to the other person, Cummings. And the euphoria has stayed there. But we need other politicians like the Cummings and the Gonglo to go dig deep into the hinterlands and get in contact with those Liberians that need to know them. Because if somebody who had 400,000 plus votes during 2017 election, I'm talking about Ambassador Boyka, he had 700,000, 400,000 plus votes. If you are going to look at him and tell him that his cards are not on the table for these elections, you're joking. We need people who will collaborate. Maybe the first arrangement they had wasn't all good. They didn't settle for it. But this time around, maybe because people have personal egos. But maybe this time around, any arrangement that will be done with Liberia on the front pedestal. Because we can no longer allow the gentleman in the mansion now to continue. He said, okay, y'all say I fail. And y'all say I fail. Yeah. When the people fail in the crowd, what they can do? Repeat. So you can let me repeat. We said, no, don't repeat. Change your school. Go, we get you NTR. That's what we're doing to him, 2023. And it's right here. We are not allowing the brother to repeat his class. We are telling him you are expelled because you failed miserably. And it's glaring that look at the road conditions. These people build roads where the ministers live, where the government officials live, and you cut the middle of the quota on the Rousey Highway. You've not polished it. Many people had accidents there. People lost their lives. And you come here and tell me that the government is doing something when it relates to road reconditioning or even anything that has to do with roads. You might be living elsewhere. The Somalia Drive Road, the Japanese highway, that was completed by them. It was something that was in the pipeline. It was in the works. The works were ongoing. There's something CDC loves to rush. They had the opportunity to make that airport to be what it is today, but they rushed. They told the people at this so and so time, maintain the stars on ground. Those Chinese people who build that airport, maintain them so they can make sure they run this place for a year or so. And before turning it over, oh no, y'all we know how to do it. We know how the people operate. Since these people left, the escalator not working, no elevator, no good electricity, people stealing generator from one whole airport, nobody can give account of it. People bringing fictitious or credentials to come and work there. All these things got to be put in check. That's why we know that people who are vying for this presidency, we know they are reputable people. Any one of them could suffice to become head of government. And that wish will satisfy me because we don't want a recurrence of what our people go through currently. On the issue of I heard President from LA's President Tati talk about agriculture. Agriculture happens to be the bedrock of every society, and you see, Ambassador Boyka has history in agriculture. He has been managing director of LPMC back in the days, and all these things can add up. But we only need people trusted. This time around, when we have the gavel of authority, it's not about people spewing or blowing horns for Ambassador Boyka. Even tomorrow, if elections were held, even on your show tonight, election was held for the candidates, the front runners. And Mr. We lost the election tonight. We can see it. We can tell that he lost the election tonight because the Liberian people are very resolved. Those CDC people who knew from 2005 will buy their own shirt, print it, wear it, and share it by themselves. But now you're paying people to wear your shirt. It tells you a whole lot. That's why I'm saying the opposition has come together holistically so we can win this thing and win it at the first notice. Or if not, maybe second round. But to have the man in power again for another 6 years, then you have nothing to say. Then he will turn to king. Because nobody can oppose the man right now. Nobody can say anything. Joshua then would be there to back, but they know things are not fine. So that's why I have to say, Mr. Logan, thank you so much for your platform.
Thank you so much, my dear brother. So thanks to
Certain people that you bring people every day, ready, they want to blackmail you. Anybody that don't want to vote for us will not be blackmailed. They're not guys that are asking for money because they're going to declare for my party. I rather get money to the people that
Joshua, you're over lying to the people.
And we will set a date for this. Judge, Pastor Weah and Pastor Johnson, using the pulpit to throw jobs. We'll have a whole conversation on this one here. So, guys, I want to say thanks for being here today. Thank you so much, Joshua Powell. Thank you so much, my dear brother, Mr. Jeremiah Chie. And Joshua, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. So, to all of you following us here on the Logan's Hour on Facebook, YouTube, on the other page on Facebook, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight was a real good conversation with Joshua K. Powell, Mr. Bush Tati, Jeremiah Chie, and the birthday man, Mr. Jan Volule, who turned 1 year today. Mr. Jan Volule celebrated his birthday. He was here defending Mr. Edison Cummings, and now he's going to drink his moe. And also, don't forget to send a congratulatory message to the Logan's Hour princess, Tutu Makati. And to all of you who joined us here today, I want to say thank you so much for being on the Logan's Hour. Tonight was a very great one, and we look forward to seeing you people again on Tuesday. Until we meet again, we want to say have a good night and bye-bye. Logan Shago,